Konoha, Reviving Senju, starting with Concubines. Author, Vortex. Chapter 26. Wood Style. Wonder Plaza Technique. Expand Senju properties. Ask for flowers. Wood Style. Wonder Plaza Technique. It is a combination of chakra of the two attributes of earth and water, and it is the power of blood following the boundary. The caster uses his own chakra as the source of life to launch ninjutsu. Next second, in full view, a large number of trees full of vitality broke out of the ground and grew rapidly, and soon a large shopping mall covering an area of 450 mu was built. And, due to the plasticity of Wood Style, Senju Starry Night also refurbished the interior of the mall. Raiment shop, mutton shop, dumpling shop, barbecue shop, medicine shop, comic shop, flower shop, ninja shop, clothes store, shoe store, ninja vest store. Various types of shops, all concentrated in the Senju Mall. Here, it will be the most important commercial gathering place of Konoha Village in the future. So, next, let me explain to you a brand new product launched by our Senju Real Estate, Senju Mall Bar. Bbook, who is the chief financial officer. It was also the first time to stand up and start doing my job. Such a big mall. That is definitely not something that a family or a rich businessman can eat. It is worth a lot. So, Senju Starry Night is also sold separately. After listening to Boss Zhao's vivid description, he also successfully aroused the desire of the wealthy Konoha merchants and the Konoha family to buy. After all, as long as you don't use evil words, you know that this place will definitely become the most prosperous place in the future. If you don't buy it now, in the future, I am afraid that the chance to drink soup will be gone. A small shop, 10 million taels. One medium store, 50 million taels. A big shop, 200 million taels. If you want a better location, you have to pay extra. Senju Real Estate has also carefully launched advertising spots, as long as you pay enough advertising fees. They will be hung at the entrance or Senju shopping malls. This wave. Another frenzy of harvesting leaks. You know, Senju Starry Night has managed 500 shops this time. Among them, there are 50 large shops, 150 medium shops, and 300 small shops. Originally thought it would take a little more time to sell all of them, but he completely underestimated the hidden funds of wealthy businessmen and families in Konoha Village, and they were all sold before sunset. More than 20 billion taels were collected on the spot. Why? Wood Style makes money quickly. With one clap of my hands, more than 20 Sarutobi Hiruzen's heads were collected. It made me not even interested in money anymore. I still miss when I was a child, when I received thousands of taels of living expenses every month. A real estate boss can't help but express a heartfelt exclamation. It seems that my price is still too low, and it was sold out so quickly. But this is also normal. Aside from wealthy businessmen who already do business, the various families of Konoha are also doing business to maintain their household. For example, the flower shop of the Yamanaka family and the ninja shop of Tanshin's family are good examples. Boss Zhao showed a kind smile. Boss, Konoha's ninjas have a lot of stupid money. Should we raise the advertising fee on top of that? Senju Kusinai thought for a moment and said, okay, I will entrust this matter to you. However, with the size of Konoha Village, it is only enough to support the construction of a large shopping mall. However, the area of Fire Nation is so large that we can consider opening a few more Senju shopping malls outside. Boss Zhao asked suspiciously, Boss, are you planning to leave Konoha Village and expand your business outside? Senju Starry Night resolutely refused. How is it possible? Although my strength has improved, I don't want to take such a big risk before I am strong enough. At least, before there is no Supercage level peak, or the 6 paths level. Senju Kusinai didn't want to go out rashly, in case the boat capsizes in the gutter sometime. Except Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, these two guys in the background, and the aged yokai Hamadara. And Black Zetsu, a filial son of the ninja world, is about to move. What if he is targeted by him and is attacked by surprise? It's still safer to make arrangements for various sealing techniques directly in the home base camp. If others dare to rush in, they will first eat my set of sealing technique combos, and then directly attack several cage levels on the spot. Kakazu was a little confused. Then you mean, Senju Kusinai said lightly, I didn't have enough chakra before, but now I can send Wood Clone out to expand the business. Wood Clone has a very high degree of realism, and it's not like Shadow Clone, which will dissipate after a little attack. It can withstand a certain amount of damage and has a stabilizing effect. Chakra by Lee Jonin, not enough for him to fork out a Wood Clone, track out, and then build a lot of Senju properties. However, the amount of chakra at the cage level is enough for him to carry out this strategic layout. If the other 4 major ninja villages are not going to go for the time being, let's start with getting out of the Land of Fire and move the real estate of the Land of Fire rather than Konoha Village. Take it into your own hands. The richest person in the Land of Fire. Nothing is better than the name of the country of fire. To rebuild a palace for them, the starting price is 30 billion yuan. Boss is wise. I'll leave it to you to choose the location. Tell me when you're done, and I'll send Wood Clone to build a house there. Senju Kusinai waved his hand and entrusted this important task to Kakazu. He believes that Kakazu's ability will definitely be able to complete this matter satisfactorily if you can successfully manage the entire Fire Nation real estate. So, the background of Senju explosive growth will be ushered in again. Chapter 27. A big list of 50 billion taels. The princess of the Fire Kingdom is here. Ask for flowers. Wood style. 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms technique. Wood style. Senju apartment technique. Wood style. Senju villa technique. Wood style. Senju mall technique. From now on, Senju Starry Night will have more children and wives. Therefore, in order to support such a large family, he also worked hard. Forks a wood clone. It's up to Treasurer Kakazu to pick the right spot. Then, Wood Clone rushed over to use wood style to build a house. It would have taken months or even years to build a house. But now it is just a few breaths, and the quality is not good. Said. But such intense work, the consumption of chakra is also very huge. Even Senju Kusanai, who has the Senju blood and cage level strength, can't bear it. Fortunately, there is a power bank Ninetales girl at home. Regardless of the opponent's resistance, after giving him some spurs, Senju Starry Night also completed charging, using fresh tail beast chakra to supplement his own losses, which made the expansion of Senju's real estate process not slow down. Boss. The reconstruction of the royal palace over there by the daimyo of the Land of Fire has been negotiated. The other party offered 50 billion taels. You are invited to rebuild a wood-style palace for them. The amount of this project is estimated to be about twice that of Wonder Plaza, but it is a large project. Kakazu reported carefully. He just recently negotiated a big deal. I have to admit that the name of the Land of Fire is really f***ing rich. With a total of 50 billion taels in one shot, it can be said to be a real big dog. At first, Senju wondered Starry Night. It is not bad to be able to win it at a price of 30 billion taels. However, he ultimately underestimated Kakazu's ability to raise prices, and also underestimated the wealth of the Fire Nation daimyo. According to the current ability of my wood clone, it will take about 10 days to get everything done. Senju Kusanai nodded slightly and said, if you go by yourself, you should be able to solve it in at most 2 days. But for life safety considerations, if it is not necessary, Senju Starry Night will not take half a step out of Konohagakure anyway, so let's go slower. At worst, let your wood clone run twice more. As long as this big list can be done, the savings of the Senju industry can be directly increased from 170 billion to 220 billion. This has not yet calculated the selling prices of Senju apartments, residential houses, villas, and shopping malls scattered throughout the Land of Fire. Besides, is there anything else? The eldest princess of the Fire Country daimyo seems to have fallen in love with you at first sight, and she is clamoring to come to see you, and she is already outside Senju's residence. Senju Kusanai slowly made a question mark. No, Kakazu is a f***ing talent. I asked him to go out to discuss business. As a result, not only did he negotiate a high price for the business, but he also brought back a princess backhandedly. What does it mean? Let yourself take another concubine? There are only 3 flat wives, and now they are occupied by Kushina and Senju Tsunade. The last position, Senju Kusanai does not intend to leave it to the daimyo princess of the Land of Fire who only has appearance and status but no strength. So if they really want to marry into Senju, that last, and only as a concubine, I won't get involved in this kind of thing. Whether you want to stay or expel, or you, the boss, make the decision yourself. Kakazu is only responsible for bringing people. As for the latter, it depends on the wishes of the boss. Heard the words. Senju Kusanai rubbed his eyebrows. Kakazu really brought himself a big trouble. In the ninja world, the leader with the highest status in the ninja village is called Kage, but the one with the higher status than Kage is the daimyo. In a sense, the daimyo can intervene in Konohagakure affairs. However, Konohagakure's decision cannot be finalized. For example, the shadow of Konohagakure can be directly appointed by the previous generation Hokage. However, when Hokage dies suddenly or becomes unconscious, the daimyo can appoint an agent Hokage. Of course, if the agent Hokage wants to become the real Hokage, it still needs the Jonin vote of Konohagakure to decide. The true role of the Fire Country daimyo. It lies in the diplomacy, internal management, alliance and other matters of the Fire Nation. Although the past daimyos of the Fire Nation are basically common people, they have little strength. But they can provide economic support to Konohagakure to maintain the security of the Fire Nation, that is, the relationship between force and economy. But, on the surface, Hokage is a subordinate of the daimyo, and the status is below the daimyo. When it comes to force alone, everyone understands it. Although in terms of strength, he is not taken at all, and he is just used as a tool for making money. But he just received a big order of 50 billion, and he can't turn back and drive out his princess. It doesn't have any face, give it. Never mind, let me go out and see for myself. Senju Kusanai sighed. Wears a hori engraved with the crest of the Senju clan. A body flicker technique then disappeared in place. This kind of trouble is something common Konoha male ninjas will never experience. No way, not everyone has the title of the first handsome guy in the ninja world, the top richest man, the super rich man, and the wood style awakener. most of the people, all but nameless Genin. How could it be possible to attract the attention of the princess of the country of fire? Chapter 28 Madoka Shiori for nothing. Seek fame, ask for flowers. Konoha Village. Mori's Senju resident, outskirts, wearing a luxurious kimono, with long black hair like silk. He looks about 17 or 18 years old. She is the princess of the Fire Kingdom, Yuan Shizi, the King of Fire. The surname Yuan has been inherited from generation to generation. Like a beauty of ice and snow, Madoka stood here quietly, waiting for the arrival of the Senju Starry Night, surrounded by Anbu sent by 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was secretly guarding the princess of the country of fire, if anything happened to her in Konoha Village. That's no joke. At least, as a Hokage, he is definitely to blame. Of course, ordinary people would not approach rashly, because the luxurious aura exuding from Yuan Shizi's body made it obvious that she was not from common. It's our first meeting, Your Royal Highness. A body flicker technique. Senju Starry Night appeared in front of Yuan Shiori. The feathers of Senju are also fluttering in the wind, making them extraordinarily elegant. To be precise, this is not the first time I have seen you, the patriarch of the contemporary Senju, Senju Starry Night. He looked at the handsome man in front of him. Princess Yuan Shizi of the Fire Country couldn't help covering her mouth with a reserved smile. At least, he had seen Senju's portrait of the Starry Night. This thing is a very popular item in the entire ninja world, attracting countless women to buy it. Moreover, when discussing the construction of the Fire King's palace, Yuan Shiori also saw the wood clone of Senju Starry Night from afar, but the wood clone did not intend to talk at all, and was only responsible for working. After chakra was exhausted, it would all dissipate in place. Meet once. He was attracted by the charm of Senju Kusanai. Yuan Shizi also came all the way here, just to see Senju Kusanai's real body with her own eyes. So, did you come here on purpose for something? I want to conceive a child with you. Wait, I didn't hear clearly earlier. Can you please say it again? I want to conceive a child with you. Yuan Shizi repeated her own meaning word by word. Senju Kusanai was shocked on the spot. Girls now. Are they also open? Exclamation mark. You didn't even go through the process of getting married, so you just wanted a child? Exclamation mark. You are the princess of the country of fire. Do you want to be so fierce? Exclamation mark. Senju Kusanai looked him up and down. In terms of strength, Yuan Shizi may not even be as good as Genin, but her status is the princess of the Fire Country, and her appearance is also superior, occupying 2 advantages in talent evaluation. If she conceives a child with her, the talent and aptitude of the offspring should not be high. Too bad. But there must be a reason for him. Senju Starry Night is not a humanoid self-propelled cannon. When it sees a beautiful one, it fires directly. Why not to be shaken by the pie delivered to your door? Senju Kusanai asked calmly with his face still unchanged. Yuan Shizi hesitated for a moment, but still confided all the thoughts in her heart. On the one hand, the concubine is indeed attracted by your handsomeness, Mr. Kusanai. On the other hand, I am also interested in Senju's background and strength, and I want to get your support to help me defeat the 2 big brothers and win the title of daimyo. I don't want to be a victim of royal association. I don't want my future to be controlled by my father. If Master Kusanai is willing to help me, this concubine can support our child to become the daimyo of the land of fire. It is clear. The princess of the country of fire in front of her. Not a person who is content with the status quo, but will find ways to find alternatives. General Ninja Family. It must not provoke the name of the country of fire. Even 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to get involved with the daimyo's family background, and kept indifferent. But, as the founding family of Konoha Village, Senju, who is now strong and prosperous, is clearly qualified to participate in the struggle for the position of daimyo. The point is, now the patriarch of Senju Kusanai, whether you want to get involved or not. Is it the daimyo of the land of fire? Senju Kusanai narrowed his eyes involuntarily and muttered to himself. Daimyo is the leader of the land of fire. Hokage is the leader of Konoha Village. If these 2 positions can be mastered at the same time, Senju's future development plan will definitely become smooth sailing. Follow his ideas. Wait until after the 3rd Ninja World War. That old monkey, 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, is about to enter retirement. By the time he intends to elect Senju Tsunade to succeed 4th Hokage. Originally, Senju Tsunade was used to the darkness of the high-level wood industry, so she had no interest in politics, but now with the support of Senju Kusanai, she would naturally not refuse if asked, and would definitely choose to inherit the position of Hokage. The priority of Namake's Minato, Okaimaru, Jiraiya and others must be after Senju Tsunade. After all, Tsunade is not only cage level. She is also the granddaughter of 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama, whose prestige is still alive. In this way, then you can take the position of Hokage in your hand. And the method of controlling the daimyo position in the land of fire is now directly in the hands of Senju Kusanai, the heir of the princess of Fire Country. Naturally, he also has the orthodox daimyo inheritance right, with the support of Senju Mori, and the talent blessing of multiple children, many blessings system. Maybe he can really take over the position of daimyo justifiably. by the time. Look at the whole country of fire. That will all be the words of Senju. As long as Master Kusanai is willing, the concubine can give everything of herself now. I just hope you can leave my mark in your heart. It doesn't matter if you are a wife or a concubine, or you don't have a status. Yuan Shizi intends to take out all her chips. It's all said and done. Senju Kusanai naturally no longer hesitated, and directly agreed. People are willing to give it for free, and they don't have to be responsible for it. If it's not up to the mark, wouldn't it be worse than a beast? Chapter 29. The third heir is born. Talent. Heroic spirit of heaven. Ask for flowers. Times of day. Soon, in the practice of Senju Starry Night, it disappeared in a blink of an eye. Due to the initiative of Princess Yuan Shizi of the Fire Country, the two of them didn't even have time to hold the wedding ceremony. According to her intention, these ceremonies will also have time to be reorganized in the future. Another convenience. Learned that Senju Kusanai was working on something. Whirlpool Kushina and Senjutsu Maid also had a tacit understanding and did not come to disturb. Woke up from sleep, holding the white fat girl in her arms, enjoying the warm sunshine. A system notification sound also suddenly sounded in Senju Kusanai's mind. Ding! Congratulations to host for completing a special achievement. A shot into the soul. Reward. Host talent random +1, this child's gestation time shortened. Immediately, Senju Kusanai was slightly taken aback. In the past, I had to work hard for a month to get my wife pregnant. But this time, it actually went straight into the soul, and incidentally triggered the achievement reward. This is really a surprise. The talent I have improved is of Senju blood, from the original B level to B level, although the range is not very large, but it is better than nothing. When this bloodline level is raised to A level, I should be able to awaken the sage body. Senju Starry Night. Current strength, early gauge level, B. Talent, Senju bloodline, B. Wood style, B. Elemental holy spirit, S+. Qualification, B level, cage level initial stage. Summoning beast, Ra's winged dragon, A+. Take a look at your current attributes. Senju Kusanai quickly turned his attention to the second achievement reward. Normally speaking, the birth of an offspring. All need to go through 9 months of pregnancy. However, with the reward of shortening the gestation time of offspring, Senju Kusanai could see a faint white light group condensed on Yuan Shiori's abdomen, quickly showing the posture and embryonic form of a baby. Among them, he inherited the blood of Senju Kusanai and Madoka Shiori. Finally, a baby girl is born. He didn't cry and make a lot of noise, just observed the brand new world with a pair of gold eyes. This is the third son of Senju Starry Night. Only, her birth was full of accidents, and she came into this world earlier than her other 5 big brother sisters. Of course, anyway, Senju Kusanai can be sure of that feeling of being connected by blood. This child is his own biological heir. Ding! Congratulations on the birth of the third son of host. Drawing special talents. Talent 1, Armored Titan. Talent 2, Red Dragon Bloodline, disabled. Talent 3, Heroic Spirit of the Sky, disabled. The sound of the system also arrived as promised. Presented 3 brand new talents in front of Senju Starry Night. But, to his surprise, this time, there was even an incomplete talent. Or, because the original version of talent is too powerful, and the combination of Yuan Shizi's appearance, status, and strength is not enough to trigger this request. Titan's bloodline is not very applicable in the ninja world. Facing Chunin and Chunin, it can play a crushing role. However, once you face a ninja of the Chunin level, I'm afraid it is very likely to become a living target and be slipped to death alive. It can be ruled out first. Even a full armored titan, it doesn't feel as good as the incomplete blood of the red dragon and the heroic spirit of the sky. Senju Kusanai hugged his daughter. Choose in your mind. If it were changed to a pure body art world, the blood of titan might be good. However, the ninja world is full of high agility ninjas, which are obviously not very applicable here, and will only become large living targets. Unless titans can have the power of tailed beasts. Although the tailed beast is big in size, it is also strong enough to clear the field with a tailed beast bomb. Think twice. Senju Starry Night ended up in the blood of the red dragon and the heroic spirit of the sky. She chose the latter, as the inherent talent of her third daughter, which will accompany her future growth. Talent, heroic spirit of the sky, disabled. Level, A-level talent, beyond cage level early stage. Talent introduction. King Arthur in Legendary gave up the power of the holy sword, picked up the holy gun, and started his career as a king again. Her body has developed naturally, her mind has become more calm and mature, and she has finally grown into an adult state. This is the most perfect king's posture. In order to maintain the rule of the British Kingdom, she could even issue an order for Gawain to block the gates of Camelot and massacre unarmed women and children. In the end, King Arthur stepped into the realm of God and became the goddess of the Holy Spear. No doubt, if it is the original heavenly heroic spirit talent, this is definitely an S-class start. But, because it is an incomplete talent, the final level of this talent can only be fixed at A-level. This is something that can't be helped, because Yuan Shizi's strength is a blemish, and the princess of the fire country has no strength at all. Not even Genin, which affects the talent level of her children. Introduction to other talents. Geist Titan, Level C, one of the 9 Great Wisdom Titans. The body is strong and tough, as high as 15 meters, covered with super hard armor. The attack and defense are very good, the only shortcoming is the lack of flexibility. Red Dragon Bloodline, Incomplete, B+ grade. The incomplete Red Dragon Bloodline can increase the holder's strength, durability, agility, and energy to a certain extent, and can show the power of the dragon. Chapter 30 Senju Liya, the spear that shines at the end. Remnant. Ask for flowers. Master Kusanai, this child is the offspring I conceived with you. Ah, but didn't we just do that? Didn't we need at least 9 months? You can understand it is a secret technique of our Senju. This child has indeed inherited my blood and yours. You should be able to feel a sense of blood connection. Put the baby girl in the hands. Put it in Yuan Shizi's arms. Senju Kusanai also wove a white lie, saying that the child's early pregnancy and birth was Senju's secret technique. Certainly, for Yuan Shiori, it was already an unexpected joy to be able to save 9 months and conceive the child of himself and Lord Kusanai ahead of schedule. It means that Master Kusanai will support her and win the position of the great name of Fire Nation in the future. It would be great if it was a boy. Girls are always at a disadvantage when it comes to fighting for the title of daimyo. Madoka felt a little pity. It's not that she doesn't like her daughter, it's because, when it comes to fighting for the title of daimyo, men always have inherent advantages. Obtaining the daimyo position as a daughter often requires more effort. Do not worry, this kid is a born king. It only needs to be cultivated well, coupled with the support behind us Senju. It is only a matter of time before we get the title of daimyo. To this, Senju Kusanai is not worried about anything. As long as the strength is enough, boys, girls, it doesn't matter at all. As long as his daughter wants it, as a father, he will definitely do his best to help her. This kid, let's call it Senju Liya. Senju Kusanai named his third daughter. Although in terms of talent level, it is slightly inferior to Senju Nawu and Senju Luffy, but the holder of the heroic spirit of the sky, disabled, will be synonymous with a born king. At least, Senju Starry Night doesn't think so. With the weak power of the king of the current Fire Nation's daimyo, it can compare with the power of the king of his third daughter when she becomes an adult. Senju Liya. Talent, heroic spirit of heaven. Disabled, A. Senju Bloodline, C. Qualification, A level. Beyond cage level initial stage. Just nurture it well. Senju Liya will definitely be a stable super cage level combat power in the future. Even if there is any adventure, it can also break through the current qualification limit. Just like Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, originally their limit was beyond the peak of cage level, but after Sage of Six Paths sent them off on the spot, they directly soared to the early stage of Six Paths. Unfortunately, Madoka Shiori has neither Senju blood. There are also no close relatives of Uzumaki blood. Therefore, this also led to the thinning of Senju's blood vessels on Senju Liya, and only had a C-level evaluation. Ding, the talent of the offspring has been determined. Random feedback host corresponding rewards. Congratulations to host. You have obtained the A-rank treasure, the spear that shines in the end. Remnant, the spear that shines in the end. Remnant, the holy spear in legendary. The anchor of land that binds the stars. Its true form is the tower that binds the skin of the world, but this is a fake replica. Really, the reward this time. It is also a broken treasure. To be honest, Senju Starry Night is not good at using gun-type weapons. There is a good saying, since ancient times, spearmen are lucky. Always use this weapon. It is easy to cause one's own luck to decline, which leads to a series of bad luck. Looking at the entire ninja world, this kind of weapon is a very unpopular type. Senju Kusanai plans to keep it as a treasure for the time being. When his third daughter Senju Liya grows up, he will give her this treasure as a coming-of-age gift. Use it. Shiori, what are you going to do next? My concubine's father is still in good health, so there should be no competition for the title of daimyo in a short time. I want to take Liya to stay in Senju's residence for a few years. Madoka smiled at Kaido. From a young girl to a young woman, she is now very attached to Senju Starry Night. Of course he didn't want to leave so soon. And Liya is still young. Instead of bringing her back to the daimyo palace of the Land of Fire and wasting time and talent there, it is better to stay at the Senju residence in the forest, so as to give her a better growth environment. Before Liya's wings matured, if she took it back rashly, she might be targeted by her two big brothers. In this regard, Senju Starry Night naturally has no objection. He naturally hopes too. It is best for your own daughter to grow up by her side from an early age. Only want to find a kingly teacher. There is or a teacher who is good at guns. This is not an easy task, and there are no talents in this area around me. Forget it. The boat will be straight when it reaches the bridge. Clean up and get ready to wake up, Shiori. Since you have become the woman of my Senju Starry Night, I still have to meet other people in Senju. Stretched. Senju Kusanai put on her hurry and was about to get up. I don't know. When Kushina and Tsunade know that they have captured the princess of the fire country in one night, and conceived a child with her by the way, how wonderful the expressions on their faces will be. Uchiha Mikoto, Hyuga Sagiri, Inuzu Kashiwa, Yamanaka Erairi, and Kurama Megami probably have even more headaches. Obviously they came first. Why did this later princess of the Fire Nation give birth to an heir for Lord Kusanai first? Certainly Senju Nawu and Senju Luffy. The two children. Probably only happy for the newborn younger sister. After all, children's minds are still very simple, and they will better shoulder the responsibility of being big brother sisters. Chapter 31 New and Luffy's Talent Awakening. Chaser and Rubber Constitution. Ask for Flowers. Introduced by Senju Starry Night. Everyone also quickly accepted the princess of the country of fire. Perhaps the only thing that caused waves. That is Senju Liya, who is in her infancy. This made Senju Tsunade and Uzumaki Kushina slowly raise a question mark. Could it be that Master Kusanai had private contact with Princess Fire Country early on? Of course. They wouldn't ask any more questions about this kind of thing, as they just acquiesced. Yuan Shizi didn't become arrogant just because of her princess, but integrated into it. Soon, they became one with the girls. Seeing this scene, Senju Kusanai felt a little relieved. At least his backyard is safe and sound, and there will be no major conflicts. To be honest, he didn't quite understand why other family patriarchs wanted to take a concubine would turn into a family war. Master Starry Night, I have something important to report to you. It's about Miss Nawu. Konoha Dragon God Chanbo-jun. He also rushed over in a hurry. Thanks to Senju's favor, he taught Senjun the basics of shamanism. Naturally, he was also conscientious and did not dare to slack off in the slightest. However, on Miss Nawu, the strange phenomenon that suddenly appeared made this Konoha dragon god who lived 40 or 50 years old. It's also a little hard to grasp. What is the situation? No way. He could only come to seek the help of Master Kusanai. In case there is something wrong with Miss Nawu, he, as a gymnastics teacher, is definitely to blame. Nawu, take me to see. Senju Kusanai nodded. The two quickly disappeared in place and headed towards Senju's practice site. It's here. Senju Nawu, who is only 2 months old. After completing a set of gymnastics training, she is also refining chakra with her legs crossed, and a light blue light emerges on her body surface. This means she has successfully distilled part of the chakra. This is no surprise. After all, Senju Nawu inherited the S+ level Banner God of War, C+ level Senju bloodline, and his own aptitude is also A+ level. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is a super genius, and children in the ninja world are generally very precocious. It can be seen that Hatake Kakashi has already started killing people and becoming a Chunin at the age of 6. Senju Nawu just grows faster than others. It doesn't look like anything unusual. No, Master Kusanai. Please wait a moment. What I want to say is not that Miss Nawu refined chakra. 2 months old. Chakra can be extracted. In Chanbo-jun's eyes, this kind of talent can be called a monster. However, this is not beyond his cognition, because it is another special energy that makes him feel at a loss. Through some unknown means, Senju Nawu's side gradually condensed and surrounded by 5 distinct chasers. They are, no attribute, light attribute, dark attribute, ice attribute, fire attribute. When these chasers are condensed, they can greatly increase their own movement speed, attack power, defense power, and strength, and can cause the enemy to receive additional attribute damage. The more chasers there are, the more obvious the improvement. In a sense, the birth of Chakra. It's like Sage Mode in the ninja world. Extract the natural power and use it to greatly enhance your own strength. The versatility of Chaser is obviously more than Sage Mode, because a series of skills of the battle mage profession are closely related to the power of Chaser. This kind of power is called Chaser. Chaser? You just need to know that it doesn't do any harm to Nu. It's just a talent she was born with. That's good. The old man is afraid that something will happen to Miss Nawu. Heard the words. Konoha Dragon God Chanbo-jun also breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Miss Nawu is free from work, that is naturally the best. As for saying, what is Miss Nawu's talent? When Senju Kusanai didn't explain much about this kind of thing, Chanbo-jun naturally wouldn't ask any more questions. He still had self-knowledge and would not casually touch Senju's family secrets. It's not good. The big thing is not good. Master Kusanai, Master Luffy has become soft. Just solved the Senju Nawu thing. On the other side, Might I rushed over in a hurry, holding Senju Luffy's arm in his hand. Only, in Chanbo-jun's stunned expression, Master Luffy's arm, like elastic rubber, began to be stretched infinitely, and was dragged a full 30 to 40 meters away. Stop, calm down, Dai. Hoo might wear a stop. Now a little heart can be said to be beating non-stop. Certainly, it's not because I'm tired from running this distance. Although his talent is not very good, so far he is only at the elite Chunin level. But the devil training he has experienced every day is enough to provide him with a body full of endurance. What really made him feel out of breath was that something strange had happened to Master Luffy, who was only over a month old. When Might Dai turned his head, looking at the long Senju Luffy whose arm was pulled, his eyes almost popped out. No, the front was only stretched by a meter or 2 at most. I didn't expect to be able to stretch it so long now. This is no longer a talent that can be described. It has already exceeded the limit of human stretching, right? Exclamation mark. That's it. Don't worry, it's just Luffy's talent. See, Senju Kusanai also said dumbfounded. The talent of Sun God Nika could have endowed him with a rubbery constitution. But in the ninja world, that's kind of unheard of. It is estimated that only Lenju no Kaimaru, the pervert, can transform the body into a limp body, but it is an acquired transformation, and Luffy is an innate talent, and there is still a lot of room for exploration in the future. Chapter 32 The Surrender of the Three Major Families. The development plan of Senju Starry Night. Ask for flowers. Distance to Nu and Luffy. It has been half a month since each of them began to awaken their talents. Konoha's 47 years passed quietly. Time come to Konoha 48 years. With the arrival of the new year, every household also began to prepare, clean the inside and outside of the house, and hang a rope at the door of the family, which is said to be used to drive away ghosts. Last year, forest of Senju's resident. There are only two people, Senju Kusanai and Senju Tsunade, looking deserted. But this year, with the marriage of Senju Kusanai and the birth of Senju Nawu, Senju Luffy, and Senju Liya, it has also become quite popular. Boss, a guest is here. Well, we are guests from afar, let them enter the banquet together. Perhaps it is because of the relationship of marriage. This year's Mori Senju resident, except for Senju Kusanai and others, patriarchs and members of other families were also welcomed. The great elder of the Hyuga clan, the patriarch of the Inuzuka clan, the head of the Yamanaka clan, the patriarch of the Pommel Horse clan. Since the Hyuga family is a big family, they didn't send the head of the family to come on New Year's Day. But only the great elder of the Hyuga clan came. After all, Hyuga Sagiri is her most beloved granddaughter, and his children have already died in battle. This is his only relative, and he is doubly concerned, lest something happen to her. What a pain. Now, his granddaughter is pregnant. As a grandfather, he must come and take a look. As for saying, Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama clan, they are at most a medium-sized family. On the occasion of the new year, they come to Senju's residence to celebrate the new year together, and the meaning is obvious. They are the affiliated families that have planned to become Senju. As the saying goes, it is good to enjoy the shade under the big tree. Today, Konohagakyo's family power presents a situation of one superpower and two strong ones. Among them, one super refers to the Senju of Mori, and two strong refers to the Uchiha family and the Hyuga family. And other families, including Sarutobi and Shimura, are just middle level. If you want your family to develop rapidly, you need to bet in advance. Now, the girls of their clan, pregnant with Senju's heir, this is the future bond between the two parties. Master Starry Night. This is our Inuzuka, Yamanaka, and Kurama clan. The willingness to join hands. I hope to become an affiliated family of Senju, please agree. Three family patriarchs, half kneeling in front of Senju Kusanai, bowing his head to express his submission. They are not fools, and they can clearly see who is strong and who is weak. In the current situation, in the face of economy and force, Senju, who is almost in the absolute upper hand. If you don't surrender now, it will be free in the future. It is estimated that Senju will look down on them, and you must show your loyalty as soon as possible. Are you sure? Once some decisions are made, there is no going back. At that time, Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen's attitude towards you will change. Here there please. Senju Kusanai didn't agree immediately, but asked rhetorically. Although there are only 3 middle-level families, there is no Kage-level existence, and the strongest are only a few elite Jonin, but they still have a lot of Chunin. Compared with the civilian ninjas who are generally genin, they can be regarded as filling part of the middle class. Let's fight. Only, every decision made by the family patriarch, both will affect the prosperity and decline of a family, so Senju Kusanai hopes that they will think about it carefully. If Senju wins, they will naturally benefit. In the future, they may become a large family and develop vigorously. Third Hokage wins, and as Senju's affiliated family, they will also be liquidated immediately. At that time, they may plummet into a small family, or even be completely destroyed. We've thought it through. Even if it fails, it will not hesitate. Please also ask Master Kusanai to promise our surrender. We will definitely fight for the glory of Senju. There was almost no hesitation. The patriarchs of the 3 families said in unison. This kind of thing. Nature is also well thought out. Now that we have made up our minds, we must go all the way to the dark. And there is no turning back. Otherwise, they won't be able to please Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, and they won't be able to please Senju Starry Night. No matter who wins the final victory in the future, it will be a situation that is not pleasing to both sides. Drink this glass of surrender wine. I recognize the Inuzuka, Yamanaka, and Kurama clans as the affiliated clans of my Senju. Raising the wine glass in his hand high, Senju Kusanai said flatly. The 3 patriarchs also raised their wine glasses and drank them without any hesitation. This cup of surrender wine, not bound by any contract. It is purely a moral process. But, for Senju Starry Night, he doesn't need this kind of thing at all. Senju is already strong now. Senju Starry Night, Senju Tsunade, Whirlpool Kushina, 9 Taels Jinchuriki, Kakasu, even if you don't count Namikaze Minato who is in a dilemma, this has 4 Kage level combat power, above Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. The opponent's advantage is nothing but Hokage's position, and the ninjas who can control the vast majority of Konoha have an advantage in military strength. But with the opening of the Third Ninja War, this advantage will also be gradually reduced due to the war, and in the end only the election of the fourth Hokage will start. Able to take over power peacefully, Senju Kusanai naturally didn't intend to come directly to force, and find something for himself. After all, the only way to take over the position of Hokage now is to seize power by force. Not only will there be a lot of internal friction, but the next step will be to face the siege of the 4 major ninja villages. Obscene development. Waiting for the right time and place. This is the current development policy of Senju Starry Night. Chapter 33 Konoha Village's Internal and External Troubles. Prologue to the Chunin exam. Ask for flowers. In Yuzuka, Yamanoka, Pommel Horse, the 3 families took the initiative to become the subordinate families of Senju. The Hyuga family also flirts with Senju Mori, and the relationship between the two seems to be very harmonious. This news soon word spread throughout Konoha, so much so that third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo had gloomy faces all day long, and it seemed that they were not in an optimistic mood, because under the leadership of Senju Kusanai, their power was constantly increasing, which made the two of them feel threatened. But people just develop normally. They have no reason to stop it at all. Even their family owes Senju a large sum of money for the purchase of real estate. Sarutobi, I asked you to take action to suppress Senju as soon as possible. You must not listen. You see how the current situation is resolved. HMPH, you seem to have a solution. Why didn't you take the initiative to stand up and stop the marriage between Senju Kusanai and Whirlpool Kushina? But now you are here to accuse me. This is a good friend who loves and kills each other. At this moment, they are also tit for tat, and they are almost on the verge of a direct fight. Instantly, the entire Hokage office, they all look like gunpowder. The 2 old men stared at each other with big eyes and small eyes. After a long time, Shimura Danzo snorted coldly and sat back to his original position leaning on his crutches. He's not a badass who would have dared to stand up and stop the marriage between Senju Kusanai and Whirlpool Kushina. It wasn't a pure act of courting death. At least Shimura Danzo didn't want to take the blame. One bad one would die on the spot. He originally planned to let Sarutobi Hiruzen take the blame, but this old monkey is very shrewd and not hooked. Neither of them wanted to be the first to stand up and take the blame. This also leads to, in the end, the 2 of them did nothing. In Yuzuka, Yamanoka, Kurama, what are you going to do with these 3 families? You still want to take people to kill them, but if you are willing to do it with your roots, I won't stop you. The 3 families join forces, so they can be destroyed if they are destroyed. What's more, there is Senju's power standing behind them. Even if you add your Ranbu, it may not be able to succeed. There is no other way. Let's stop them first, and then see if there is a chance to weaken their strength after the war starts. Negotiations come and go. At least, in peacetime, faced with the alliance formed by Senju as the head and 3 middle-level families as supplementary, both Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo were at a loss as to what to do. They had no way to start. They could only quietly wait for the start of the war to see if they could find any suitable opportunities. Now, these 2 old punks, they all felt aggrieved. When they were doing things, they became so restrained. With a gloomy face, Shimura Danzo slammed the door and went back to his route, not knowing what was plotting in the dark. Yosuke, what is Master Hokage's order? The Chunin exam is about to start. Go send an invitation letter to Senju Starry Night. Yes. Leaving with Konoha Anbu who was called Yosuke, third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was smoking his pipe, looking at the misty smoke in the air. His mind was full of thoughts. This Hokage, it's really not easy to do. If only he had the power of first Hokage Senju Hashirama, or possess the wisdom and scheming of second Hokage Senju Tobirama. That's good. For Sarutobi Hiruzen, today's Konoha can be said to be internal and external troubles. There is an alliance formed by Senju Mori, Inuzuka, Yamanaka, and Kurama, but Shimura Danzo is still not one with himself. There are 4 big ninja villages out there watching covetously. They want to go through this war and bite off a piece of meat from the richest Konoha, and they will fall into the situation of being besieged at any time. Konoha Mori's Senju resident. After the new year passed, Senju Starry Night was also fun for half a month. Cultivate emotions with your children during the day, and by the way, when you can, give them a little counseling and help them solve some minor problems. Although talent aptitude is not very good, but Senju Kusanai is also a strong Kage level man, so it is no problem to tutor children who have been practicing for a few months. The cultivation progress of Senju Nawu and Senju Luffy. It is also 1,000 miles a day. Senju Liya after turning 1 month old. I can also walk slowly. Since my talent is not as excellent as my big brother sister, I can't reach the point where I can run and jump at will. Liya, this is a full moon gift from your father. Senju Kusanai also prepared a corresponding gift and gave it to his daughter. A book called The Self-Cultivation of Kings. A book called Knight's Gun Basics. There is also a wood-style pendant that condenses the power of its own wood style and pours it into it, which can play a protective role at critical moments. To be honest, those two books, Senju Kusanai sent people to search almost the entire ninja world before barely finding it. After all, these two things are too unpopular in the ninja world, and it would be great to be able to find some basic books. As for the future path, only Senju Liya can develop and grow by herself. Thank you, father. Senju Liya thanked politely. Although there are two books, she doesn't seem to be disgusted with reading, but rather interested. The other side, Treasurer Kakazu. He also came forward with the invitation letter from 3rd Hokage and handed it to Senju Kusanai. Sarutobi Hiruzen, that old monkey, thinking of sending me an invitation letter for the Chunin exam. This is really strange. After reading the above content, Senju Kusanai also frowned slightly. However, he did not refuse. There are many familiar faces in this year's Chunin exam, and he happened to meet them. Just take it as a way to pass the time, and you don't have to do anything yourself anyway. Chapter 34 Future 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Brother Yukaika, ask for flowers. Chunin exam. This was founded by 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama. The examination system for genin to be promoted to Chunin is generally held twice a year, and it is also an important occasion for allied countries to observe each other's national strength. Certainly, as the war atmosphere in the ninja world gradually became tense, so this time the Chunin exam in Konohagakure is just an internal Chunin selection. The first item is naturally the most basic written test question. As the patriarch of Senju Starry Night also saw many familiar faces in this Chunin exam, such as Mitarashi Anko, Uehong, Nohara Lin, Yukai Obito, Sarutobi Asuma and others, all of whom are 12 years old now. The future 10 Tails Jinchuriki, Brother Tuzi. It is said to be the tail of the crane, but I feel that his strength is not too bad. Looking at the amount of chakra, it should be at the level of an elite genin. At most it's just a Sharingan that hasn't awakened yet. Senju Starry Night gaze, staring at the dead Yukai Obito who was tortured by the written test questions. He thought silently. Who would have thought? Now a mediocre Konoha genin. 20 years later, he was able to become a 6 paths level existence in one fell swoop. Certainly. He also thought about it. Now directly strangle Brother Tuzi in the cradle. But if you think about it carefully, it seems that there is not much use. Even if Brother Tuzi is killed, Uchiha Madara, who is hiding in the dark, will find another heir, and it will only add instability to himself. But, have to admit, the geniuses of the Uchiha clan are indeed emerging in endlessly. Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Shisui, Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Obito, all of them have cage-level potential. By contrast, after the death of 1st Hokage Senju Hashirama and 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama, in Senju, apart from Senju Tsunade, there are very few cage-level powerhouses born. For example, Senju Kusanai still relies on system rewards to get promoted. Otherwise, according to the original talent and aptitude, you can only stay at Elite Jonin for the rest of your life. Degree. The second exam is 3 days later. The test this time is actual combat. You must use all the taijutsu and ninjutsu you have learned. Come to win qualified qualification. At the same time, this is a collective battle based on the squad. The examiner announces the content of the second exam. For Senju Starry Night, this level of Chunin exam is just the level of a child's playhouse. So, he also just held the mentality of watching a play. When the Konoha examiner announced his disbandment, the Konoha genins who were sitting in their seats also began to leave their seats in 2s and 3s, and each of them began to prepare. They all wanted to pass this examination and become a real Chunin. As everyone knows, after the ninja war started, becoming a Chunin will only result in a higher death rate as you will accept higher difficulty quests. With the strength of Chunin, the identity of genin, and the task assigned to genin, as long as it is not too bad luck, the survival rate is still very impressive. With the strength of Chunin, the identity of Chunin, and the assignment of Chunin, unless luck is really good on the battlefield, the survival rate will become very slim. Master Starry Night. Look, it's Master Kusanai. I didn't expect him to come to watch this Chunin exam. Can I have an autograph? Just when Senju Kusanai was about to get up and leave, a sharp-eyed girl suddenly let out a scream, which then triggered a series of chain reactions. A bunch of little girls immediately huffed and surrounded him. There are little stars in the eyes, looking at Senju Kusanai, who is the most handsome guy in the ninja world. His eyes are full of admiration, and some girls even expressed that they want to give him a monkey. This made Senju Kusanai wipe the cold sweat off his forehead involuntarily. Ninja children, are they all so precocious? I was only 12 years old, and I started thinking about giving birth to monkeys. However, in the context of this era when ninjas have a very high mortality rate and are about to go to the battlefield at the age of 12, it is reasonable for them to mature so precociously. In the crowd, Senju Starry Night also saw Mitarashi Anko, Uehong, and Nohara Lin. After all, although they are only 12 years old now, but all of them are beauties, with a good foundation. Uchiha Obito split open directly, and said enviously and hatefully, How can you repair it? Can you do whatever you want if you are handsome? Why does Lin like this type? In response, Kakashi patted him on the shoulder and said, don't think too much. He is the patriarch of Senju, and the conditions in all aspects are the top group. You are still far behind. The tail of the crane can only say, Jiraiya this vain. It's as if it doesn't match the name of Senju Star Yaba. Each of them has a green grassland above their heads. Jiraiya has a crush on Tsunade, and Tsunade and Senju Kusanai get married. His apprentice, Namikaze Minato, has a crush on Kushina, and as a result, Kushina also marries Senju Kusanai. His apprentice, Sunyuzibo Obito, had a crush on Nohara Lin, but Nohara Lin hung on Senju Kusanai's body with all his heart, and Tuzi directly typed GG in laughter. Kakashi couldn't help but secretly rejoice. Fortunately, I have no interest in love. A woman will only affect the speed of his cultivation. Otherwise, he might have been influenced by some unknown factor and stepped into the footsteps of the three of them. Thanks to Jiraiya's teacher, Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen is getting old. Senju Kusanai is not interested in attacking an old and ugly old lady, so Sarutobi Hiruzen escaped. Okay, let's leave the autographs to after you become Chunin. If there are outstanding performers, I can be the host and invite you to have dinner together. A word from Senju Starry Night. It directly mobilized the emotions of the girls present, like a raging fire. To make Uchiha Obito, Kakashi and others froze in place directly. The influence is too great. One sentence has such a strong effect. Chapter 35 Ninja Takeaway Service. Uncle Otsutsuki's ramen. Ask for flowers. 3 days later. The second assessment of the Chunin exam also started on time. Hundreds of Konoha genin gathered at the entrance of the Death Forest early in the morning, waiting hungry. Exam tension plus the pre-specified time and the special rule that you are not allowed to eat breakfast, so as not to spit it out. They didn't even have time to take a bite of food, so they rushed over in a hurry. However, when they arrived at the test site, they realized that they had been fooled. The purpose of the invigilator was to let them participate in the team competition in a hungry state, because they want to guarantee logistical supplies on the battlefield. But a very difficult thing. This can be regarded as getting used to it in advance. The atmosphere on the battlefield. It's over. It's a big fool. I knew I would have finished my breakfast before coming here. The assessment doesn't start until noon. Does it? There are so many of us, which means that a group of people will even be hungry until the afternoon. No, I don't eat breakfast and lunch. Will I really have the strength to fight then? This bunch of flower bones living in the greenhouse. It was also a group of immature genin, who suddenly began to complain. This scene, the proctor who watched sneered. These guys, it seems that they don't understand what they mean at all, and there are only a very small number of excellent seedlings who understand their well-intentioned efforts. On the war zone, the situation they have to face is 100 times more difficult than this. If you can't survive even such a small setback, then you should go home early, wash up and sleep, and don't take the Chunin exam. On the second exam, these invigilators are the gods who control the fate of these candidates, and the corresponding blockade was carried out on the periphery. Without their permission, no one should leave here, and don't even think about eating breakfast and lunch. I will starve everything here. Uncle Liya pushed the ramen cart and yelled, "Hi, who ordered takeaway?" The invigilator suddenly became excited, and asked with a confused face, "FK, where did you come in from?" Uncle Liya said as a matter of course, "If someone orders takeaway, I will deliver it." In Yuzuka, Yamanaka, genin of the Kurama clan. A total of more than 20 people. At this moment, a swarm of bees gathered here. They have heard from their elders that this Ninja World Takeaway Service is a new business that Senju will launch next, and they, as affiliated families, can enjoy it in advance. With these steaming ramen noodles, they can have a hearty meal. Only when you have a full stomach can you fight with more strength. An Inuzuka genin said, "Examiner, why don't you eat a bowl of ramen with us?" The invigilator immediately resolutely refused. "How can I, the invigilator of the Chunin exam, join in with you and eat ramen here?" Uncle Liya also interjected, "I also brought garlic. If you don't eat garlic in noodles, the taste will be reduced by half." The invigilator said angrily, "Who let you in to make trouble? Don't you know that the Chunin exam is being held now? Believe it or not, I will throw you out right now." Uncle Liya said, "My boss asked me to come. If you have any comments, you can give feedback to my boss." The invigilator immediately asked, "Who is your boss? Dare to disturb the order of the Chunin exam? I will report you to Lord Third Hokage." That Inuzuka genin twitched his lips and said, "Examiner, you'd better not be so full of words. That boss is not someone you can afford. Now speak more and more. At that time, the death will be even worse." There is some truth to this sentence. However, the invigilator obviously didn't understand Inuzuka genin's kind reminder. He felt that Hokage-sama's status was the most lofty in the entire Konohagakure, and who else could compare with him? "I can't afford to provoke someone, but I want to hear who has such a great ability." The Senju patriarch of the forest. Senju Starry Night. "Sorry, I was wrong. A man can bend and stretch, and needs to judge the situation." The moment the name came out, the invigilator's knees went limp on the spot, and he chose to admit it. Nima. This kind of boss. Is it possible for me, a little proctor, to provoke him? Hearing that the host of the other party was Senju, the examiner didn't dare to beep anymore, and could only watch helplessly as Uncle Yakiraku handed out ramen to genin from Inu's Yuka, Yamanaka, and Kurama clan. This scene, the other genins who watched were swallowing their saliva constantly. I am so hungry, but they can eat delicious ramen. This sense of gap is too great. Uncle Otsutsuki's ramen is still as delicious as ever. Uncle's ramen is a must for Konoha. Suck and suck. This ninja delivery service is really convenient. I heard that Master Kusanai not only intends to expand this business into our daily life, but also plans to deliver a steaming takeaway to the frontline ninjas during the war. If it can be realized, don't we have to worry about being hungry on the battlefield? Uncle Yakiraku is naturally happy to hear that his ramen has been appreciated. Only, what puzzled him was, why do these children call themselves Uncle Otsutsuki? My surname is not Otsutsuki. After my boss made a mistake once, old Uncle Otsutsuki became my title inexplicably, which made Uncle Yakiraku a little dumbfounded. Certainly, it's just a title. Uncle Yakiraku didn't really care too much. The only things he pays attention to are his daughter Aim and the ramen that he loves with all his heart. Being able to make his favorite ramen so that more people can enjoy it is the simple life Uncle Yakiraku longs for. Chapter 36. The Chunin exam is over. Senju's rewards. Ask for flowers. A bowl of steaming ramen. The whole person is refreshed. Not only because the stomach is full, but also because the ramen made by Uncle Yakiraku is delicious enough. To be honest, take Kakashi, who removes the strength of the 12-year-old Jonin, and the hard-working genius, the 12-year-old might guy who also has the strength of Chunin. For other genins, fight hungry, fight against a full stomach. That is completely two concepts. The latter will seriously affect their combat strength. This is why many people like to intercept the opponent's food on the battlefield. After all, people still have to eat, and they cannot do without eating or drinking. The point. Certainly, if your strength has reached Kage level, Super Kage level, or even 6 Paths level, perhaps the dependence on food will gradually decrease. Inu's Yuka Genin, Advanced. Yamanaka Clan Genin, Advanced. Genin, the Pommel Horse family, Advanced. The members of Senju's affiliated family successfully completed the promotion one by one. Team members with them. It was also incidentally touched by a light, and was taken away. As for saying, someone went to complain about unfairness. On what basis the genin of their 3 clans can fight on a full stomach, while others need to be hungry? At this time, the invigilator will stand up and tell them that there is never fairness on the battlefield. This is a battle that tests both the hard power and the logistics supply of both sides. Your logistical strength is not as good as others, so you have to admit it. Certainly, this Chunin exam, it can only be regarded as a simulation. If it is really on the battlefield, if Senju can continue to maintain this kind of logistics supply, then there is nothing to say. The other side. Take Kakashi class. Also face to face with the Might Guy class. In order to show his strength in front of his goddess, Uchiha Obito also rushed forward with a stride, quickly forming seals with both hands, trying to use fire-style ninjutsu to seize the opportunity of his side. Fire-style. Great fireballs. Only, he seems to have forgotten. Before the battle started, I ate a candy by the way. This is not. Halfway through casting, the candy got stuck in his throat, making his face turn blue for a while, interrupting the progress of the attack. Leaf Hurricane. Might Guy is not used to each other either. Going up by himself was a powerful and heavy kick, sending Uchiha Obito flying more than 10 meters away. It hit the ground heavily, and even the candy stuck in the throat fell out. But Uchiha Obito was also kicked unconscious. This idiot. Take Kakashi was silent for a while. Nope. This ninjutsu is halfway through. I was stuck in my throat by my own candy. This is really the first time I have seen such a thing. Next to 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Namikaze Minato, who was invigilating the exam together, is now embarrassed to be able to dig out 3 rooms and 1 living room with his toes. It is a bit disappointing that his disciples are true. Rin, you go and use medical ninjutsu on Obito. I'll deal with them. No way. Teammates are unreliable. Take Kakashi has to carry the banner alone. Simply, he is a genius among his age, and already possesses the strength of Jonin at only 12 years old. In this kind of unperverted Chunin examination selection, it can also be said to be a superboss level character, and it is not easy to kill a group of Jonin in seconds. That is, the Might Guy with the strength of Chunin. It will be a little harder to deal with. Certainly, this is Might Guy in regular form. If he was allowed to open the former 4th gate of 8 inner gates, the sudden surge in strength also caught Take Kakashi by surprise. 2 days later, the selection of the Chunin exam has also come to an end. Not surprisingly, those names that Senju Starry Night is familiar with have successfully become a Chunin. Take Kakashi was also specially promoted as a Jonin, a big step ahead of others. Congratulations to all the new Chunins. As a promotion gift for everyone, we, Senju, will also provide additional rewards. Civilian ninjas, as well as the Inu's Yuka, Yamanaka, and Kurama families, can all get a C-level ninjutsu scroll, and it comes with a promotion bonus of 30,000 taels. At the same time, the outstanding performer is Hatake Kakashi, Might Guy, Kuroki, Mitarashi Anko, Rin Nohara. They can get a B-level ninjutsu scroll, or a B-level physical skill reward, and it comes with a promotion bonus of 100,000 taels. Look at the boys and girls who have been awarded the title of Chunin. Senju Kusanai also took the lead and announced his reward. After all, Senju's route, it is to greatly win over those civilian ninjas and to let them use them for themselves. The effect of this strategy is still very significant, regardless of the bottom genin, such as Namikaze Minato, Cage Level, Marushi Kosuke, Zuning, Chen Bojun, Zuning, Hatake Kakashi, Jonin, Might Die, Elite Chunin, Might Guy, Chunin. These civilian geniuses. They were all brought in by this policy to work for Senju, so Senju Starry Night will not break this tradition. Not to mention, they are the Senju clan and not much else. Nowadays, there is a lot of money, and there are a lot of ninjutsu scrolls. Just make it. For ninjas with family heritage, they don't like a small C-level ninjutsu at all. Maybe it takes a B-level ninjutsu to be tempted. However, for those ninjas of civilian origin, there is no such thing as family inheritance at all. They can learn at most 1-3 body technique in the Ninja Academy, and suddenly they can get an orthodox ninjutsu scroll and cash rewards. That is naturally ecstatic. Chapter 37. Learn too many ninjutsu. Not good for civilian ninja struggle. Ask for flowers. Oh, long live Lord Starry Night. Although I was promoted to Chunin, I have only mastered 2 C-level ninjutsu at present, thanks to Master Kusanai's cultivation. I will definitely make good use of this C-level ninjutsu scroll and the reward of 30,000 taels. We civilian ninjas don't have any good things. We can only serve Master Kusanai. Those civilian ninjas who were awarded, everyone cheered and burst into tears. See this scene. Many people from other families couldn't help curling their lips, not quite understanding why these civilian ninjas were so excited by this little reward. Growing up in a honeypot made them completely ignorant of the pain of civilian ninjas wanting to grow up. Certainly. Anyway, a reward is better than no reward. Originally, the Yamanaka clan, symbolizing pig, the Nara clan, symbolizing deer, and the Akamaki clan, symbolizing butterfly, had achieved an alliance as early as the Sengoku era. After Konoha became a village, the 3 clans became a solid foundation in Konohagakure. One of the pillars can be said to be connected with each other. But, because Senju Kusanai married Yamanaka Irairi, however, they did not marry the Nara and Akamaki clans, which caused the Yamanaka clan to sneak away and enjoy this special treatment. When Nara and the Akamaki clan knew the news, they immediately came to the door and said, "Good, you big-eyed guy." Our 3 clans agreed to go forward and retreat together, but you sneaked away and ran to the forest first. Senju's subordinates are enjoying the coup, right? Is there a good thing not to bring brothers together? Finally, under the attack of 2 good brothers, one left and one right, the patriarch of the Yamanaka clan had no choice but to bring them in front of Senju Kusanai and ask the patriarch what he meant. The Inoshikacho combination is one of Konohagakure's trump cards. The Inoshikacho combination of the past dynasties is usually composed of the current or next patriarch of the 3 clans. In battle, generally, the Nara family with shadow imitation skills and extremely high IQ is responsible for tactical formulation and core control. The Yamanaka family, who are good at perception and mind control, are responsible for perceiving targets and connecting the minds of the 3. In the end, the Akamaki clan with powerful destructive power finally attacked, the role they can play in war. In fact, it is no less than the famous families like Uchiha and Hyuga, and they have the advantage of not fighting among themselves. The nest of the big family is very serious. This kind of buy one get 2 free activity. Senju Starry Night doesn't hold it back either. Although he did not marry the Nara and Akamaki clans, he can also guarantee that all the affiliated families under his command can enjoy the protection and benefits of Senju without discrimination, without worrying about disparity in treatment. Snort. What a shame. Who is this Hokage? Sarutobi. You see, if you don't care about Senju Kusanai, he's going to ride on your head and shit. I saw Senju Kusanai's behavior of buying people's hearts. Shimura Danzo immediately started firing. Fight. It would be best if Sarutobi Hiruzen went straight to the head. Starry Night shopping with Senju on the spot. He can also pick up a big deal by the way. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen is an old fox who is particularly tolerant. He doesn't want to confront the powerful Senju head-on, and he doesn't want to be taken advantage of by his good friend Shimura Danzo, so there is only one word at this moment: tolerance. The battle is imminent, and we will discuss this matter later. Let's talk about it later. He's breaking the rules set by our families. See if the other party is not hooked. Shimura Danzo was also dissatisfied. In his opinion, these common civilian ninjas are used to squeeze and put them on the battlefield as cannon fodder for their family's children. Learn a 3-body technique, and you can be sent to the battlefield to die. Only when you have made enough contributions through life and death, Can you consider giving you a chance to learn sea-level ninjutsu? Learn too many ninjutsu. Not very good for these common civilian ninja struggles. It is estimated that many common civilian ninjas will think until their death that they have not been able to learn a C-level or B-level ninjutsu, because they are not fast enough to do tasks. Certainly, geniuses like Namikaze Minato and Hatake Kakashi are different. The way geniuses grow and tilt their resources obviously cannot be calculated according to common sense. And in this harsh environment, Senju Starry Night can get a lot of support as long as it shows a little favor. I know. But don't forget, in the current situation in the ninja world, Mist Shinobi, Rock Shinobi, Sand Shinobi, and Cloud Shinobi are all eyeing us, and war may break out at any time. If a head-on conflict with Senju breaks out at this time, regardless of whether they will be taken advantage of by them, what do you think our chances of winning are? Remove Namikaze Minato, who will remain neutral because of his benefactor and master. The number of cage-level strong players on both sides is still not equal. Morino Senju has 4 people, Hokage has only 3 people. Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Anara and Akamaki, who have just changed their family, joined a total of 5 middle-level families, which greatly increased Senju's middle-level strength, and the Hyuga family showed a friendly attitude. It can be said today's Senju has wings, and they can't handle them at will. Don't do it now, you'll regret it. Sarutobi. I'm the hot. Phew, don't think I don't know what you're up to, Danzo. Hear from a good friend. Sarutobi Hiruzen subconsciously wanted to reply with a classic quote. However, he seemed to feel that he had said it too many times, so he stopped abruptly halfway through, and said with a warning at the same time. Have to say, the line of Hokage will weaken. There is really a reason for this. It is purely that they like to fight among themselves too much. It's such a time, and I can't keep one mind, and start fighting for power and profit. Even Senju Tsunade, who is a disciple, doesn't mix with Sarutobi Hiruzen, which shows how failed he is in life. The remaining 2 disciples. It is estimated that Jiraiya still thinks about some old feelings a little bit, and Orochimaru has also become a little speechless because of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo's series of coquettish operations. Chapter 38. The back molars are all crushed. The hearts of the 2 licking dogs collapsed. Ask for flowers. Konoha Commercial Center, Wonder Plaza. With the opening of shops one after another, the popularity of this place has gradually become more and more popular. Almost all the villagers in Konoha like to come here to shop and buy things, even those ninjas are no exception, and it has become the most important commercial place in the entire Konoha. At the same time, because it cost a lot of money to buy a store, it is equivalent to binding most of Konoha family and wealthy businessmen on a boat. Anyone who dares to move here will move everyone's cheese and cake. It can be said, the Senju Mall. It is the best place to unite all the forces of Konoha at this stage. Have to say, this is a laughable thing. And Senju Starry Night also kept its previous promise. For the girls who performed well, they also acted as hosts and brought them to treat them to a meal of high-end sushi. Sit down, Hong, Lin, Anko. Sit down. You can order whatever you want. You're welcome. Senju Starry Night is at the forefront. Behind him were 3 young girls who had just been promoted to Chunin, all of whom looked excited at the moment. Although Senju Tsunade is married and has 8 wives in his family, this does not affect the admiration of many female ninjas in the ninja world for him, whether it is his appearance, wealth, family background, or the desire for his blood. Some small families, there was no hope of rising in sight. Naturally, they also tried their best to inherit a collateral bloodline from the blood successor boundary family. That's why big families like Uchiha and Hyuga don't like to marry outsiders, because it's easy to let their own blood flow outside, and they don't want the boundaries of blood inheritance like Sharingan and Beiyin to be stolen by others. But, if it's not soft, it's hard. If you don't want to get married, many people just want to button their eyes and play transplant. Thank you, Master Tsunade. The sushi here. So expensive. Will it cost Master Tsunade? It feels dozens of times more expensive than the dumpling I ate outside. When this high-end sushi restaurant cookbook, when placed in front of the 3 girls, they were also taken aback. After all, this sushi restaurant, it's not something that ordinary children of civilian origin can afford. Kurena Yui is a little better, her father is at least a jonin. However, Mitarashi Anko and Nohara Lin do not have this kind of treatment. Their parents are at most a Chunin level, and they may even be genin. In Konoha, genin is the lowest wage earner. Even the battlefield is cannon fodder. Only the level of chunin can be regarded as the income of a small white-collar worker. But it is definitely unrealistic to say how high the status is. Only the strength of the jonin level can be regarded as the upper-level combat power. This store is the property of our Senju, so don't worry about the price, just order it. If you really can't make a decision, then all kinds, come and have a taste. Being rich and powerful at the moment, a superlocal rich man with more than 220 billion yuan. The industries under Senju can be said to be a handful, involving various levels, and are gradually encroaching on all walks of life in Konoha, and even slowly penetrating into the entire Fire Country. So, high-end sushi that looks expensive to others. In the eyes of Senju Kusanai, it is just a simple daily dish. Seeing that the three girls were still timid and afraid to order such an expensive dish, Senju Kusanai simply ordered all of them. Don't worry about wasting either. At least, as a cage-level powerhouse with exuberant vitality, if you really want to let go and eat, Senju Starry Night still has a lot of appetite. Master Kusanai, we may not be able to eat so many. Don't worry, I won't waste food. Soon, one after another delicacies were brought to the table. Gun squid sushi, jumbo sweet shrimp sushi, special flamed box-pressed sushi, hana no mori, tempura, skewers, beef rolls, urayaki eel, teapot soup, akazuke, tonkatsu ramen, sturgeon sashimi, teppanyaki. In Ninja World, for most dishes, this is almost the top specification. It's a pity that Senju Kusanai is not good at cooking, otherwise, he appointed to bring over the 8 major Chinese cuisines to change the taste of the entire genin world. As for now, that's the only way to eat first. Damn it, this Senju Starry Night is shameless. The uncle is almost 20 years old, and there are 8 wives in the family, and he is still here to hook up with my red. Sure enough, it's just like what my father said, this guy is not a good person. At the door of an upscale sushi restaurant, Sarutobi Asuma gritted his back molars, looked at Senju Kusanai who was chatting and laughing with Yuhong, and wished to rush to replace him. As for saying Uekai Huabato originally became Chunin, he was quite happy. But at first glance, no Harolin was sitting and eating with other men, and she leaned against the wall listlessly, as if her body had been hollowed out. A certain Hate Kakashi who is not interested in romance. I also silently prayed for Sarutobi Asuma, and there really is some kind of magic spell. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen missed. As a result, his son Sarutobi Asuma was recruited. Stepping into the footsteps of Jiraiya, Namikaze Minato, Uekai Huabato, there is another poor baby in this world. Wait until after the 4 of them finish this dinner. Before Senju Kusanai left, Yuehong also blushed and grabbed his sleeve. Master Kusanai, can I be your wife? You are too young now, let's talk about it in 4 years. To this, Senju Kusanai rubbed Yuehong's little head, and said gently, although she is already a Chunin, she is still too young for Senju Kusanai not to drive a stroller. But, for the sunset red. Hearing that Lord Kusanai didn't reject him, he had acquiesced, as long as he was old enough. He immediately showed excitement. Even Mitarashi Anko and Nohara-rin also asked. Certainly. Senju Starry Night's answer is the same. In a few years, let's talk about it when we grow up. Crack. Now, cracks appeared in the fragile hearts of the 2 licking dogs. Dao heart collapsed. Chapter 39 And you third Raikage is my best iron buddy. Ask for flowers. Konoha's Chunin exam has come to an end. Calm time only lasted 2 months. With the militant Cloud Shinobi Village taking the lead in attacking, the Third Ninja World War has officially started. Konohagakure, Sunagakure, Uwagakure, and Kirigakure were also quickly involved, and began to attack each other for resources and interests. Due to Senjutsu Nade, Uzumaki Kushina, 9 Taels Jinchuriki, does not participate in the battle. So, this war, Sarutobi Hiruzen is also battling his formation. Jiraiya, Okaimaru, Namikaze Minato, and Shimura Danzo each lead an army and are responsible for guarding one side. And he sits firmly in the central army, and if there is any problem with one side, he will lead the backup troops to support in case of accidents. In Uchiha clan, Hyuga clan, it also played a key role and was active on the battlefield. Everyone is paying attention. We are news Yuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, Akamaki ninjas. On the battlefield, we must help each other, and we must not refuse to help each other. Never fight alone. Because of these 5 families, they directly chose to join Senju's command, so they also became the thorn in the side of Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. In order to avoid being trapped by Black Hands, they also took the initiative to form a group and advance and retreat together. The power of a family can easily be cheated to death. The 5 families add up, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has to weigh it. If something goes wrong at the same time, the defense line along the way will be declared broken on the spot, and then Konohagakure will also play GG amidst laughter. After all, Senju Starry Night is completely irrelevant and has an attitude of hanging high, without any participation in the battle plan. Frontline war became extremely anxious. Gradually it turned into a protracted battle. But the astonishment is, on the battlefield, a group of neutral ninjas called Ninja Delivery Staff suddenly appeared, and they began to run around. As long as you place an order and pay the money, steaming food will be delivered to your door. On a battlefield full of war, what a treat to have a bowl of delicious ramen. At the very least, it is much more delicious than the dry and tasteless Bingyang one. So the ninja delivery man has also received unanimous praise from everyone. Hello, take away. This sentence, it has become the most familiar words of the ninjas of the 5 major ninja villages. As the saying goes, if the 2 armies are at war, if you don't kill the delivery staff, if you dare to touch them, not only will the frontline ninjas not be able to enjoy this service in the future, but you will also have to bear Senju's fierce revenge. even the bravest Cloud Shinobi. After learning that Senju was 4 or 5 cage level experts, he is also silent. He is now in conflict with 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, and he is unwilling to participate in the battle. He only moves the delivery staff unless his brain is cramped, forcing 4 or 5 cage levels to join the battlefield to attack them Cloud Shinobi. In the opinion of 3rd Raikage, Senju is such a good help, and 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen can make the relationship so rigid. He is really a talent. When he led his army into Konoha Village, he would definitely become a brother of the opposite sex with the head of the Senju clan. Make obeisance on the spot and treat each other with courtesy. Even if the opponent is strong enough, he doesn't mind giving up Raikage either. After all, in the reckless village of Cloud Shinobi, strength is the most important thing. Taking advantage of the special situation of the battlefield, the ninja takeaway service created by Senju Kusanai has also become more and more popular. A bowl of 22 taels of ramen will be given away, and you will be charged 2,000 for travel expenses. The reason is that the battlefield is too dangerous and the delivery fee is too high. Increased. If you like to eat, you can eat it, and if you don't, you will fall down. Usually, dozens of bowls or even hundreds of bowls can be delivered in one order, which can be said to be a lot of money. Boss Zhao has been laughing all over recently, counting money every day. As for a certain Naruto Shimura Danzo accused Senju Starry Night of sending food to the enemy, he immediately ignored him on the spot, saying that I seem to be in the same group as you. As far as his current relationship with the upper echelon of Konoha Village is concerned, he didn't stab you backhanded on the spot. It would be a good to join Cloud Shinobi Village. 3rd Raikage wrote a letter directly to beg for help with him and rule Cloud Shinobi together. Boss, 3rd Raikage heard that you like girls. I specially selected 2 twins from Cloud Shinobi Village and sent them here. They are especially good at cooking, and they are also at the Chunin level. Do you think you want to accept it? Boss Zhao asked for instructions. Looking at the 2 18-year-old twin girls with huge blonde hair and good looks in front of them, the older sister's name is Yiyu Marina, and the younger sister's name is Yiyu Ali. Senju Kusanai also did not refuse their kindness, and took them in. Look at Sarutobi Hiruzen's disgusting operation. Look next door at 3rd Raikage. There is no comparison. It doesn't hurt. Senju Kusanai said, Sarutobi Hiruzen is a pile of defense, and you, 3rd Raikage, are my best friends. When you meet ninjas from Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Akamaki, both sides just need to play around. We are all good friends. If you don't support my good brother 3rd Raikage, why don't you support that old monkey Sarutobi Hiruzen? To this, commander of the Cloud Shinobi front, Shimura Danzo, silently watching a Cloud Shinobi Genin fight an Inuzuka Jonin for 300 rounds. Then the Inuzuka Jonin took an exaggerated step back and fell directly to the ground, spitting 3 feet of blood from the mouth, indicating that the opponent was so strong. I'll set you up a monkey. Shimura Danzo had a direct cerebral hemorrhage. UF King Jonin can't beat Genin, play me. Inoshikacho, you guys up. Ah. The opponent is so strong, it must be a cage-level expert from Cloud Shinobi Village. Inoshikacho fight together against a Cloud Shinobi Chunin. In the end, it was a narrow defeat. He also said that it's not that we didn't work hard, it's that the opponent is too strong. That is definitely Cloud Shinobi's hidden strong. Shimura Danzo almost broke the defense directly. Nima, 3 elite Jonin join forces. I can't do a Cloud Shinobi Chunin. Do you think I'm a badass? The opposite is Cloud Shinobi's ab combination. Jonin of the Kurama clan, you go and deal with them. Ah, shall I single out the 2 of them? Only win, not lose. All right. A certain pommel horse, Jonin, spread his hands, saying that he doesn't care. 3 minutes later, after some discussion and negotiation between the 2 sides, the ab combination with cage-level strength directly flew out for hundreds of meters. At the same time, the Cloud Shinobi ninjas also gasped, saying that this pommel horse Jonin possessed the Hokage posture, and they were really ashamed and bowed down. Good brother, if you support Cloud Shinobi, I must also support you. Our only enemies are Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, Cloud Shinobi and Senju's brothers. See here. Shimura Danzo was silent for a long time. Then he began to exhale the fragrance directly. At Chapter 40 Shimura Danzo, who was shattered, asked for flowers. Cloud Shinobi frontline battlefield. Because of the relationship between Senju and Cloud Shinobi's good brothers. Therefore, Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Akamaki, who are affiliated families, are particularly relaxed. It's as if they weren't here to fight. It's like coming to relax and go shopping. The entire battlefield is completely polarized. On the one hand, Shimura Danzo, who is the commander of the Cloud Shinobi front, commanded the ninjas close to the Shimura family, and his direct army route, struggling to resist the attack of Cloud Shinobi Village, lest his defense line be completely penetrated. On the other hand, the 5 major families directly fished and paddled together, and tacitly practiced Tai-Kai with the Cloud Shinobi ninjas. You hit me, I give you a hit. In short, hit to the end. Although everyone was covered in blood, they were all skin wounds, which belonged to medical ninjas who recovered after treatment, but there was never a single casualty. FK. I'll hit you MMP, ask for help, ask Konoha headquarters for help. Tell that guy Sarutobi Hiruzen if he doesn't send someone over to help the front line. This Cloud Shinobi battlefield is pierced, don't blame me. Shimura Danzo has been broken defense. At this moment, he has completely lost his usual calmness, his whole body is tied with bandages. His eyes are red and bloodshot, as if he is about to devour someone. Original Cloud Shinobi Village is also fighting on two fronts. 3rd Raikage and 2 Jinchuriki are in charge of the Iwagakure front. Once played against Namikaze Minato, the young AB team was in charge of the Konoha Village front. Seeing that the opponent's strength has not yet reached its peak, Shimura Danzo relied on just group fights and barely survived. It's been half a month. The ninjas who approached Shimura suffered heavy casualties. As for his well-trained troops, more than half of them were lost. After all, Cloud Shinobi's gang of reckless men are not weak at all, especially Killer Bee's tail beast transformation, which is extremely difficult. At least it cannot be solved by Shimura Danzo, a quasi-shadow. Hello, take away. Now, a neutral delivery guy suddenly poked his head out, breaking the extremely dignified atmosphere. Whose sushi do you have? Me. I saw the high-end sushi I ordered arrived. The pommel horse Jonin who defeated the AB group also clocked in on time, and hurried up to pick it up. High delivery fees, just limited to other people. For example, Senju's affiliated family can still enjoy certain benefits. At least there will be no 20 taels of ramen, and you will be charged 2,000 taels for shipping, which means you will be charged 5 taels. You are the pommel horse clan. Take it seriously, now is the moment of life and death. People are like iron, rice is like steel. If you don't eat a meal, you will be hungry. You have an attitude problem. I beat Cloud Shinobi's AB combination. I know, but our current battle situation has shown a downward trend. Can't you be more serious? I beat Cloud Shinobi's AB combination. To this, Kurama Jonin with premium sushi fresh from the oven. It was also paid in time, and gave a 5-star praise. At the same time, faced with Shimura Danzo's doubts, Uni President just typed back with one sentence. Pommel Horse Jonin directly exploded. Hummer Cloud Shinobi's AB combination is Konoha's hero. And you, Shimura Danzo. It was almost interrupted by dog legs, and it was barely possible to survive by relying on the root crowd tactics. Although only a short sentence. However, the lethality contained in it left Shimura Danzo speechless. I set you monkey. Who knows why the combination of Cloud Shinobi AB can't beat a pommel horse Jonin? Could it be that there is something special about the lineage of their pommel horse family? It doesn't make sense. Chakra is indeed still at the elite Jonin level, not even as strong as my quasi-gauge level. Why is it that I am beaten by Cloud Shinobi's AB combination, and they can fly the opponent more than 100 meters away on the spot? This is unscientific. Shimura Danzo wanted to break his head. Can't think of it. After a letter exchange, Senju Starry Night and 3rd Raikage have been friends for a long time, and they have long been hooked up and mixed together. Although the two have never met, they are still close friends. The man of Cloud Shinobi is so forthright that he won't play any intrigue with you. Brothers are brothers, and enemies are enemies. 3rd Raikage patted his chest and said, good buddy. Do you like women who are beautiful, powerful, and of status? No problem. I'll grab a few princesses from the small country next door and deliver them to your door. If you don't like it, you can return it directly. Senju Starry Night also reciprocated on the spot. Good brother, we will give you a 50% discount on the takeaway fee of Senju's ninja takeaway. In the future, when I open Senju Real Estate, I will directly give you a 5% discount for all staff, and I can build a set of Senju for you for free. The big villa, this is the testimony of the friendship between us men. So, it wasn't long before the two stepped into cage level. It was the two brothers of the AB combination when they were young that they were able to let go of their cage level dignity and directly help support the pommel horse Jonin. Then the next time the AB team comes, can you go out and fight them off? To be honest, the reason why I was able to repel the AB combination was actually the blood inheritance limit of our family. This consumes a lot of money. I can only use it once a month. I really feel powerless. Seeing that the other side wants to use himself as a knife. Kurama Jonin is also eating his own high-end sushi in one bite. Then, his acting skills went up immediately, and he burst into tears expressing that he wanted to serve the country, but he was powerless. Revolving heaven. After all, I'm also just an elite Jonin. They have 2 cage levels, and it would be nice to be able to repel them once a month. You can't let my Konoha here go up and die, can you? This pommel horse Jonin also knows that brother Cloud Shinobi will support you, but his purpose this time is to beat Danzo, so he can't go out and pretend to repel them every time, causing trouble for brother Cloud Shinobi's attack bar. So, once a month at most. If you don't wait too much, do what you like. Chapter 41 Special Achievement. Wives and concubines in groups. Sarutobi who supports good friends. Ask for flowers. Konoha Mori's Senju resident. The front line is in full swing, but Senju Starry Night is enjoying a happy hour here. Especially the pair of sisters Yi Marina and Yi Yueli. They can be said to be connected with each other and have a very smooth body. Brother Raikage is really kind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the special achievement. A group of wives and concubines, 10 people. Rewards: host random talent +1, slightly improved aptitude and strength, flying thunder god technique. Accompanied by the sisters sent by brother Raikage. The number of wives and concubines in Senju Starry Night also successfully broke through 10, and he was rewarded with a special achievement. In this way, if the number of his offspring breaks 10, I wonder if I can get another wave of special rewards. I still have 5 heirs, and it will take 5.5 months to be born. Sister Yu has just arrived, and it is not so easy to conceive. Instead, Kushina, Senjutsu and Shiori Madoka have conceived children. No matter how hard Senju Starry Night works, it seems that there is no movement of the second pregnancy, which makes him a little regretful. After all, on the identity, status, and strength of the mother, they can be said to be the strongest among their wives and concubines. The blood inheritance limit of my wood style has been slightly improved, and it has also reached the B-level evaluation. At the same time, accompanied by the simultaneous improvement of strength and qualifications, Senju Kusanai also felt a numbness in his body, as if breaking some kind of shackles. From the strength of the early stage of cage level, officially stepped into the middle stage of cage level. By the way, I learned a trick Namikaze Minato's special skill, Flying Thunder God Technique. Bring in takeout. It can be said that it is even more like a fish in water. Of course, this is also a joke. Senju Starry Night will not be reduced to letting his wood clone deliver food. But if you are free, instead, you can send your wood clone directly to the front line, just in time to meet brother Raikage. Senju Starry Night. Current strength, mid-cage level, B. Talent, Senju Bloodline, B. Wood style, B. Elemental Holy Spirit, S+. Qualification, B level, cage level midterm. Summoning Beast, Ra's Wing Dragon, A+. Equipment, the spear that shines in the end. Remnant, A. Senju Kusanai looked at his attributes with satisfaction. Well, I just need to keep working hard. Even if my initial aptitude is not very good, I still have the opportunity to step into the 6 paths level in the future, and even step into the outer level. That is to say, the god of Otsutsuki in Legendary may not be out of control. Possible. Take a break from Senju Starry Night. Also entered the state again, holding the Yu sisters. Everything is for the rise of Senju. Konoha Village. Inside Hokage's office, third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen was smoking a cigarette, and his brows were also furrowed at this moment. Konoha, as the place of the 4 wars, is also the one that bears the most pressure. Others fight on 2 or 3 fronts at most, but they fight on 4 fronts. Wrong. Kirigakure direction. Seems like it was just a bluff. The Mist Shinobi army was not sent to suppress the border, but Sarutobi Hiruzen is still not at ease, and still sends a cage-level combat force to garrison. What? It's only been half a month since the war started. The Cloud Shinobi battlefield can't bear the need for help. What does that guy Danzo do? He didn't release the water on purpose to preserve his vitality. Did he? At this time, he still does this kind of thing. Sarutobi Hiruzen flew into a rage. The third Raikage and the 2 Jinchuriki are not on the battlefield here, and I have sent you so many families, 2 or 5 boys, to help you. Result: it's only half a month. Just come up and tell me that the battle line is about to be pierced. Are you afraid that it's not a joke sent by a monkey? Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is familiar with his good friend nature, directly and subconsciously believed that it was Shimura Danzo's desire to maintain his own strength that caused the battle to become so bad, so he greeted his mother cordially on the spot. Certainly, Shimura Danzo far away on the battlefield of Cloud Shinobi. If he knew that Sarutobi Hiruzen was greeting his family, he would probably jump straight away. At least, Shimura Danzo still loves Konoha and Hokage. If Cloud Shinobi destroys the village, then he will have nothing. For this reason, he also sent a ninja who is close to the Shimura family, and his direct power route. It can be said that he is fighting with all his heart, but Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Akamaki are all paddling. And they have 2 cage levels. I have the strength of a quasi-shadow. Take your head against the ab combination of the new generation. This is no fun at all. The route ninja who was in charge of delivering the information also said anxiously at this moment. I also ask Hokage-sama to help quickly. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a deep breath, and then said slowly, Anbu gathers and mobilizes 1,000 Konoha Shinobi fighters to follow me to the Cloud Shinobi battlefield for support. I haven't made a move in so many years. They probably haven't forgotten my title of Shinobi. No way. A good friend is in trouble. Although they have been bickering all day, Sarutobi Hiruzen still decided to go out in person and go to the front line to support. If this is third Raikage at his peak, he may not be able to beat it, but if it is just 2 new generation ab combinations, with him and Danzo teaming up, at least they can fight regardless of the outcome, right? After all, this can be regarded as the middle stage of cage level, and the early stage of Zuning vs 2 cage level. Obey, Hokage-sama. 1 order. Many Konoha Shinobi and green vests also rushed to the front line. As for his hometown, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not worried about being stolen at all. My Senju Starry Night is here. Who dares to steal the house? Even if it is stolen, I dare not destroy it. After all, a large number of them are the property of Senju. If you dare to damage Senju's finances, 4 cage levels will stand up at the same time and fight you justly, and beat you out. Chapter 42 Sarutobi, look at others. This is the will of fire. Ask for flowers. Frontline, Cloud Shinobi Battlefield. Shimura Danzo, who was about to be punched out of shit. With 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen leading the team to support, the situation was temporarily stabilized. On the other hand, it's useless to be reckless if you don't know the ab combination of 3rd Hokage's strength. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen is known as Ninjao, which still needs to be respected. Master Hokage, our Inuzuka clan is best at scouting. You have come from afar, you can rest for a while. Why don't you let me spy on the inside of Cloud Shinobi? Watching a certain Shimura Danzo who was about to sue Inuzuka, Jonin immediately stood up, with the aura that if I don't go to hell, whoever goes to hell. This task, it can be described as extremely dangerous. Not to mention Jonin's strength, even if it is quasi-gauge level, once it is discovered by Cloud Shinobi's ab combination, coupled with the siege and bite of many Cloud Shinobi, it is estimated that there will only be a fall in the end. This task can be described as a narrow escape. Are you sure? Everything is for Konoha, Inuzuka Jonin said passionately. The ninjas around couldn't help admiring in their hearts. This is the Jonin who inherited the will of fire. Certainly, Shimura Danzo, who knows their nature well. At this moment, I almost spurted out a mouthful of old blood. You, an actor who was defeated by Cloud Shinobi Jonin, now tell me that you will risk your life to spy on Cloud Shinobi's information. You see, I believe you or not. Original, Shimura Danzo wants to sue. But looking back, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who didn't know the truth, nodded in satisfaction at the moment. Immediately, he gave up this idea, and he probably got scolded by the other party for saying it, saying that he still wants to split in a state of war. Just right. Lost more than half of his route. Let Sarutobi Hiruzen's Zanbu go up against the wave. Go. If you can't return, I will issue a pension to your family and tell them that you are a qualified ninja. Thank you, Hokage-sama. I will do anything for Konoha Gakure. Pretty words. Anyone can tell. From the perspective of 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, although the Inuzuka family has become a subsidiary family of Senju. However, this Inuzuka Jonin is very knowledgeable about current affairs, and he sacrificed his life and forgot to die during the war. If he can come back alive, Sarutobi Hiruzen does not mind including him in his camp, as a dark chess, straight into the forest. Heart of Senju. That's it. Sarutobi Hiruzen personally saw off the Inuzuka Jonin. Holding the belief that there will be no return, this Inuzuka Jonin rushed to Cloud Shinobi's residence without hesitation, and went to spy on the inside information. Look at them. This is the ninja who inherits the will of fire. Look at you again. It's a pile of defense to be able to fight like this, Danzo. Subsequently, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his head. He scolded his good friend bloody on the spot. He also said that when others were paddling in the war, they all went to perform the mission with the idea of mortal death. It is clear that you are not up to date, and you still have to find excuses to dump the blame on other ninjas. Shimura Danzo had nothing to say. Wait until you see the real face of those actors. I know how hard it is for me, the former commander of the Cloud Shinobi front. On the other hand, Inuzuka Jonin, who holds the mortal belief. When they entered the Cloud Shinobi camp, they also revealed their identity as the Senju-affiliated family, and they were warmly welcomed immediately. Greet him. One has dark skin and blonde hair, a strong figure, wearing a white cloak, with green shuriken logo tattooed on both shoulders, wearing a wide belt and heavy armor. The next successor to Raikage, Yuai, the other has the same complexion and fair hair, wearing a pair of black sunglasses and 8 knives. The word iron on the right shoulder represents the iron armor seal, and the left cheek has horn marks. He likes to sing and dance rap. 8 Jinchuriki, Killer B. Didn't you see our friends from Cloud Shinobi coming? Hurry up and get the best wine. Hey, you don't need to be so polite. I'm actually here to carry out a reconnaissance mission this time. I don't drink alcohol during the mission. Face Yuai's hospitality. This Inuzuka Jonin also declined with a little embarrassment. This aspect, he still has principles. Do tasks without drinking, drink without doing tasks. Moreover, I was ordered to carry out the investigation mission, and as a result, I went back smelling of alcohol. As long as I didn't have a brain problem, I could see the problem. I heard the other party say that. Yuai also expressed understanding. Now is the time of war. When the war is over, definitely treat him to Cloud Shinobi for a real glass of spirits. With a pat on the chest, Yuai said, buddy, just open your mouth, and let you run a few more times. What information do you want to investigate? Just tell me, so that you can go back to the business. Inuzuka Jonin is naturally not the kind of person who doesn't know what to do, so he said quickly, no, there is no need for confidential information. just some fringe information. I will also exchange the information on Sarutobi Hiruzen's support force with you. This is also the meaning of the owner. Rare Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo on the same side. Then Senju Kusanai can't be polite, he stabbed you backhanded, and sold all your underwear. It is best to kill that old monkey Sarutobi Hiruzen, so that his own Tsunade can justifiably inherit the position of 4th Hokage. After all, in terms of prestige level, looking at the entire Konoha Village, apart from himself, no one can compare to Senju Tsunade, the granddaughter of 1st Hokage. That's all. The two sides reached a certain consensus. A wave of information was exchanged with each other, and the scene was extraordinarily harmonious. Inuzuka Jonin, who had eaten and drank enough at the Cloud Shinobi camp, also returned with some fringe information to report, and the AB combination, which got the information from Konoha's support force, also decided to work harder, and it was best to force these two old bastards to be hammered to death here. Chapter 43 Months later. 2 new members of Senju ask for flowers. Cloud Shinobi front. Konoha Village's position. The 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen waited quietly. The Inuzuka Jonin who inherited the Will of Fire returned from the investigation. Although, he knew very well that this mission was extremely difficult. That Inuzuka Jonin was basically a near-death situation, and he might not come back alive. But there was still a glimmer of hope in his heart. I have been eagerly waiting for the good news from the other party. Finally, under the rays of the setting sun, Inuzuka Jonin, who went to carry out the reconnaissance mission, staggered back from a distance, dragging his exhausted body full of bloodline. The Yamanaka clan leader also understood and hurried up. I helped a lot, Hokage. My lord. Fortunately, I have completed my spying on the inside of Cloud Shinobi. This is intelligence. Player full set. Although not necessarily seriously injured. However, at any rate, it is a little bit of a spectacle, and the performance is more serious. This is not. See the information that the other party is desperately trying to regain. Sarutobi Hiruzen was also very pleased, and asked someone to take him down to recuperate. He was going to use this information to blow the clarion call to counterattack Cloud Shinobi. As everyone knows, the one he's been waiting for. Not only did they come back after eating and drinking at the Cloud Shinobi position, but they also sold out their own side. By the way, the patriarch of the Yamanaka clan helped the Inuzuka Jonin into a tent, and the ninjas from the Kurama, Nara, and Actione families also came to visit quickly, and the place was packed to the brim. Is the food at Cloud Shinobi okay? Although it's not as good as the one in Senju Mall, it still has a different taste. It's a pity that I didn't have the opportunity to drink. The smell of wine is too strong. It is easy to be smelled by others. It is right not to drink it. Me. Next time, I will go spy on intelligence while playing. Don't think I don't know what year you are. Don't you just want to go to Cloud Shinobi to eat and drink for free? Dingzuo. From others' point of view, dangerous espionage work. In the eyes of the ninjas of the Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Actione families. But it is as easy as eating and drinking water, and there is no difficulty at all. At the same time, they also cast a disdainful look at Actione Dingza. This guy's appetite can hold up to a dozen of them. Are you sure you didn't go to Cloud Shinobi to eat the buffet? You're so beautiful. Correct. Now Sarutobi Hiruzen is on the front line. We can't be so blatantly doing foreign work. I suggest that everyone should learn from me. Take the initiative to take some dangerous tasks, and show your heart to fight for Konoha. Otherwise, wait until Sarutobi Hiruzen knows about our private connection with Cloud Shinobi. It is estimated that we will find ways to force us to engage in a bloody battle. Gossip aside, this Inuzuka Jonin is also a wise man. He knows what to do, can silence Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, and can't fault anything. In short, can't bring too much trouble to the owner. Otherwise, it will affect the reputation of the owner Senju Kusanai, and if he wants to compete for the position of 4th Hokage in the future, he may lose the support of some Konoha shinobi. The others also nodded. Express understanding. Anyway, say hello to the good brothers over at Cloud Shinobi in advance, and everyone is going out for a spring outing to relax. I have never fought such an easy battle in my life. Fortunately, I was smart and joined Senju's command. Otherwise we would still be fighting Cloud Shinobi on the battlefield. Cloud Shinobi is looking at the face of the head of the family, not the face of our 5 families. Holding the patriarch's thigh is the most correct choice. The patriarch of the Nara clan couldn't help but said with emotion. As a think tank-like figure, he naturally knew that he and others were able to have such a leisurely time, and the ninjas in the family had no casualties, all thanks to the blessing of Senju Kusanai. Otherwise, the other AB group who is going to bully you, just do it on the spot. The half-tailed killer bee is invincible on the battlefield. If there is no cage-level powerhouse or 9 taels Jinchuriki on the stage, he cannot be restrained at all. Even the combination of Inoshikacho will be difficult to win. No way. The tail beast of the war weapon is really a bit pervert. Not to mention, This is second only to Ninetales, the strongest tailed beast, 8 tails with cage-level peak strength. Next morning, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who got the information, together with my good friends, I launched a surprise attack on the Cloud Shinobi position. However, it was discovered by the AB combination of Cloud Shinobi Village. The joint combination of Yui and Killer Bee also fought with the friends of Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, and there was no winner in a short period of time, only to be dragged into a tug-of-war. Konoha Village with the strongest heritage. Even if there are paddling of the 5 families of Inuzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Akamaki, but there is Anbu, the root, and the desperate resistance of many Konoha shinobi. It was also difficult for Cloud Shinobi to break through the line of defense for a while, and the two sides were in a stalemate along the border. That's 5.5 months. Let the time come to the 48th year of Konoha, September. This day, Yu Marina and Yu Ali have been pregnant for 3 months. It is also time for Uchiha Mikoto and Hyuga Sagiri to give birth. As for Inuzuka Kashiwa, Yamanaka Arairi, and Kurama Megami, it may take another 10.5 months. Hurry up. Miss Mikoto and Mrs. Sagiri are having a baby. Senju's medical staff suddenly became busy. 11-month-old Senju Nawu is also waiting here quietly with her younger siblings. As the sensible eldest daughter, she has been constantly cultivating the power of extracting chakra and discovering chasers, and now she has preliminarily possessed the comprehensive strength of Chunin level. Although not very strong. However, Senju Nawu is not even a year old now. If it were Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo and others who are less than 1 year old, they would probably still be drinking milk. It is unknown whether they can run and jump freely, let alone be able to cultivate to the strength of Chunin independently. Accompanied by a boy and a girl crying babies, Senju gave birth to 2 newborn sons. Chapter 44 Senju Skeleton. 6 Paths Rinnegan. Residual. Ask for flowers. Ding. Congratulations on the birth of the 4th son of Host. Drawing special talents. Talent 1, 6 Paths Rinnegan. Disabled. Talent 2, Physical Master. Talent 3, Explosion Magic Specialization. Senju Starry Night's 4th child is a boy. At the same time, it is also the offspring of Uchiha Mikoto, and inherits the blood of Uchiha and Senju at the same time. That is, as long as the talent is enough. Then, he already has the initial conditions to awaken the Rinnegan. Seeing the 3 talents that this child had developed, Senju Kusanai couldn't help but fell into deep thought. He knows the Eye of the Sage of 6 Paths, known as the Rinnegan. However, what is this 6 Paths Rinnegan? Although the name is somewhat similar, it does not seem to be a product of this world. The latter two, it's easier to understand. A master of gymnastics can endow this child with a talent in physical arts, and he can make great progress in learning physical arts in the future. Practicing 8 inner gates is also a matter of sprinkling water, and you can even blaze a trail of your own. Explosion magic. It should be similar to some kind of S-level ninjutsu specialization. Born to master this kind of magic, and displaying a powerful talent. I choose 6 Paths Rinnegan. Residual. Finally, Senju Starry Night still chose this eye, which sounds similar to Rinnegan, is only incomplete, but maybe it has a special effect. Talent, 6 Paths Rinnegan. Disabled. Grade, B+. Cage level peak. Talent introduction. After returning from the afterlife, you will gain the ability called 6 Paths Reincarnation. The first way, the way of hell. Using hallucinations to make people enter an endless nightmare and destroy the opponent's mental power is equivalent to illusion. Illusion works directly on the human brain to control the senses of the brain. When the illusion is too real, it can even inflict physical damage on the other party. Second course, Hungry Kaido. Use the ability of the possessed object itself at will. The third way, the animal way. Summons deadly poisonous creatures. Any animal may be summoned. The fourth way, Shuro way. Releases Purple's grudge from the right eye to improve fighting ability, and is generally used for close combat. The fifth way, the way of the human world. This is the most dangerous ability. Black's battle energy emanates from the body. Both speed and power have been significantly improved, and the power is stronger than Shuro. However, long-term use can easily cause serious burdens on the body. Sixth Paths, the way of the gods. Can control the opponent's consciousness, and often use this to control the enemy's relatives and friends, so as to attack the opponent. 6 Paths Rinnegan in its broken state. All have a B+ grade evaluation. If it is in a complete state, I am afraid that it will be at least an A+ grade, and it may even touch the S grade level. The names of these 6 abilities, same as Rinnegan. However, it has a completely different effect. When he fully grows up, he doesn't know whether he is stronger or weaker than the future Heavenly Dao Pain. Introduction to other talents. Physical Arts Master, B level, a natural physical genius. You can quickly learn and improve any physical arts. You can exercise every part of your body, and you can awaken the special fighting energy and internal force energy. Explosion Magic Specialization, B level, the ultimate destructive magic. Its essence is pure magic power diffusion and explosion, the strongest attack magic that can cause damage to all existences, but it has the defect of consuming a lot of mana. It is very easy to consume all the mana in one shot. as expected from Senju Starry Night. One is a talent specializing in physical melee combat, and the other is a super explosive magic talent. There are gym masters. There is the talent of a master of physical arts and a great master of physical arts. It is estimated that it is also the evaluation of the standard A level and S level respectively. And burst magic. On sheer destructive power, its power is higher than wind style, spiral shuriken, lightning style, Kylan, tailed beast bomb, but the mana consumption is also very scary. If it wasn't for Senju Hashirama's Chatura, or the tailed beast Jinchuriki, it is estimated that the common ninja would fall down after casting an explosion magic. Even with the blessing of Senju's blood, it would be another shot at most. The evaluation of this talent is low, and it should also be brought down by mana consumption. This kid, let's call it Senju Mukuro, inheriting the blood of double illusion at the same time, you should be able to become an outstanding illusion expert in the future. Senju Starry Night has chosen a name for the child. Be this child. When slowly opening his eyes, in the beginning, the right eye was the red eye that accommodated the character 6, and the left eye was the pupil of purple. With the opening and closing of the eyes, Otomo gradually emerged from the left eye, which is the bloodline of the Uchiha family, Sharingan. And this child is an awakened-born Sharingan. Looking at the entire Uchiha family history, this is the first time I have encountered such a thing. If this is placed in the Uchiha family, it must be a super genius that needs to be protected and cultivated. Unfortunately, he is now Senju's child. Certainly, since there is no chakra, after 2 or 3 seconds after Senjukai opened a hook jade Sharingan, it slowly dissipated and returned to the state of purple eyes. However, the 6 paths Rinnegan in the right eye does not consume mana and can maintain the open state all the time. Cool. Seems to be feeling tired from opening Sharingan. Senju Mu also slowly closed his eyes and fell into a deep sleep. Senju Bones. Talent. 6 paths Rinnegan. Disabled. B+. Senju Bloodline. C. Uchiha Bloodline. C+. Qualification. B+ level. Cage level peak. Chapter 45 Senju Crazy 3. Angel Kekadi. Disabled. Ask for flowers. So far, the Senju family of Mori, another heir with cage level qualification has been added. It's a pity that the bloodlines of Senju and Uchiha are not very high. I don't know if Mangekyo Sharingan can be opened in the future. Senju Starry Night is also curious. This child, can it grow to left eye Rinnegan / eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, right eye 6 paths Rinnegan? Ding. The talent of the offspring has been determined. Random feedback host corresponding rewards. Congratulations to host. You have obtained the B-level equipment Vongola Ring, Fog, sealed version. Vongola Ring, Fog, sealed version. The proof of the successor of the guardian of the Fog of Vongola family. The characteristic is construction. There is something out of nothing, and nothing out of something. This confuses the enemy so that they cannot catch the real, illusory phantom of the family members. Unseal the Vongola Ring and evolve verb. Both can increase the equipment evaluation, up to S rank. A ring made of special metal. It fell into the hands of Senju Kusanai, with the pattern of floating clouds carved on it. Inscribed on the ring is the time of the mist guardians of all ages. Put it on your finger. Senju Kusanai can clearly feel that if he wants to activate the illusion, the power can be multiplied directly. It's a pity that I am not a master of the illusion department. I wear it for now, and when Senjuku grows up, I will give it to him as a gift. After all, compared with myself, this half-assed illusionist, with the 6 paths Rinnegan in the awakened one Go Sharingan, Senju's skeleton is obviously more suitable for this mist ring. Wow. The other side. Hyuga Sagiri gave birth to a girl. His soft cry also attracted Senju Kusanai's attention. Ding. Congratulations on the birth of the 5th son of Host. Drawing special talents. Talent 1. The appearance of the demon god. The essence of demons. Talent 2. Dress up magic specialization. Talent 3. Angel. Emperor Keek. Disabled. This time, it seems that 2 good things came out of the brush. In addition to the dress-up magic, which looks more common, the other 2 talents are both angel and demon, which is not easy at first glance. Dress-up magic. It's not the magic that feels strong, but the user. Senju Kusanai frowned. In principle, dress-up magic is to instantly take out and wear the stored equipment. If you have the armor of the Sky Wheel, the armor of Kuroba, the armor of Titan, the armor of Yandi, the armor of Vajra, the armor of Thunder Emperor, the armor of Flying, the armor of Fairy, etc. in your equipment column, then this magic is undoubtedly stronger of a batch. But, if you are inside the equipment bar, it's all scrap metal, and that's a piece of shit. Therefore, Senju Kusanai ruled out this talent almost without any hesitation. Between angels and demons, he made a decision. I choose Angel, Emperor Keek. It turns out, every time you encounter a talent with a disabled mark, the level is generally not too low. Explained that the effect of the full version is more powerful. Although Senju Starry Night has not yet mastered how to pick up the incomplete talents to make up for it, but there is nothing wrong with choosing first. Talent, Angel, Emperor Keek, disabled. Grade, B+, cage level peak. Talent introduction, Angels who master the power of time can achieve unimaginable effects by consuming the time they hold. 1 bullet. Aleph. Targets hit are accelerated in time. Instantaneous movement is possible. 2nd bullet. Bet. Targets hit have their time flow slowed down. The 8th bullet. Het. To make a reappearance of one's own past. Although the avatar does not have the powerful power of the deity, it has its own will and spiritual equipment. It can be stored in the shadow without limit, and can be summoned at any time before it is used up. The existence time is determined by the consumed own time. 11 bullets. Yad middle. Aleph. After devouring the spiritual power directly, send the subject to the future. 12 bullets. Yad middle. Bet. After directly devouring the spiritual power, send the subject to the past. Angel Kekadi. There are a total of 12 powers of time with completely different effects. From combat assistance to time travel. It can be described as a representative of the all-rounder. Certainly, if you want to travel through the future and the past, it will take a huge amount of time, if you don't reserve enough time power in advance. I am afraid that the moment the ability is activated, the caster will die on the spot. Introduction to other talents. The appearance of the demon god. The quintessence of the demon, B+, forged from the blood of a super dangerous species living in the extreme north. It has the power to freely manipulate ice, and its extreme use can achieve the effect of a short stagnation time. Transformation magic specialization, C+ level, space magic, which can instantly summon armor, weapons, clothes or equipment that exist in a specific space and wear them on the body. It can be flexibly used and transformed. If there is no high-quality equipment, it will appear a little weak. A talent comes from cutting the red pupil. The strength level of that world is still lower than that of the ninja world. Even the talent of Estes, the strongest general in the empire, is only at the peak of cage level in the ninja world. As for saying, the latter's dress-up magic. This magic is not very unusual. In the world of fairy tale, there are still some magisters who have mastered it. But some people can use this magic as a magical skill, and some people use it purely as a fashion show. The real strength depends on the equipment they own. After determining the talent of the 5th heir, Senju Starry Night also thought about it. What is the name of the daughter born to me and Hyuga Sagiri? Her name. Let's call it Senju Kyuangsan. Chapter 46. The Kabbalah Tree of Life. 6 Paths Level Peak Pass. Ask for flowers. Her name. Let's call it Senju Kyuangsan. Senju Starry Night to this girl who inherited the angel Kekadi. Think of her name. When Senju Kyuangsan opened his smart eyes, it was the left eye with a gold clock engraved on it, and the right eye with a wine red. Certainly, she also inherited the family gifts from her mother Hyuga Sagiri. That is to say, the boundary of blood succession, white eyes. However, this ability is a state that can be turned on and off freely, and it does not always maintain the pupil color at white. Senju Crazy 3. Talent. Angel Kekadi. Can. B+. Senju Bloodline, C. Hyuga Bloodline, C+. Qualification, B+ level, cage level peak. This is another seedling at the peak of cage level. If it is said that the children that can be conceived by Kushina and Senju Tsunade belong to the first echelon level, the qualifications are generally around the middle of the super cage level to the peak of the super cage level. So, a child that Madoka Shiori, Uchiha Mikoto, and Hyuga Sagiri can conceive, it is almost at the level of the second echelon, and the qualifications are generally around the peak of cage level, the early stage of cage level. For example, the children conceived by Inuzu Kashiwa, Yamanaka Eri, Kuruma Megami, Yu Marina, Yu Era, etc., Senjutsu I estimated that they should be in the third echelon, and they should all be in the middle of Jonin, C, cage level, B, left and right. Ding, the talent of the offspring has been determined. Random feedback host corresponding rewards. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the B+ grade item Kabbalah Tree of Life, Seed Form. Kabbalah Tree of Life, Seed Form. The Tree of Life in Legendary has 3 layers of energy rings and 10 particle powers. Energy Ring, Angel of Flowers. Vientiane Temple, Angel of Trees. Paradise of Reincarnation, Angel of Nothing. None. Quality points. Angel Extermination Angel, Angel Swearing, Angel Engraving Emperor, Angel Freezing Puppet, Angel Scorching Ghosts, Angel Sealing Master, Angel Hurricane Knight, Angel Forging Witch, Angel Breaking Army Singer, Angel Fierce Kill the Public. Cultivate the seed to maturity and take the fruit. You can have the power of all angels and become the original elf. The peak of 6 paths level. Current maturity time, 3,000 years. Feeding special items can speed up the maturity process. This thing, it is still very good, equivalent to the 6 paths level peak pass. The only flaw is that it is still in the form of seeds, and it takes too long to mature. I don't know how many years can be shortened by directly feeding a 10 taels. This thing, it is very similar to the fruit of the sacred tree of the Otsutsuki family. However, a fruit of the sacred tree can only reach the early stage of the 6 paths level, and the Kabbalah Tree of Life can reach the peak of the 6 paths level. which is only one step away from the god of Otsutsuki in Legendary. The difference in quality is still very large, and it can be worth the effect of 1,000 sacred tree fruits. Senju Kusanai thought silently in his heart. To the 6 paths level, it is very difficult to improve every small level. After all, this is already equivalent to the level of the universe level. A fruit of the sacred tree, directly promoted to the early stage of the 6 paths level. 10 god tree fruits are needed to advance to the mid 6 paths level. 100 fruits of the sacred tree can barely be piled up to the late 6 paths level. If one wanted to improve to the peak level of the 6 paths level, one would need at least 1,000 fruits of the divine tree, that is, to absorb the source of life of 1,000 planets. As for the realm of the god of Otsutsuki, it cannot be reached by just eating the fruit of the god tree. The Otsutsuki clan, in order to obtain the powerful power of the gods, they are usually sent by Otsutsuki executives to plant sacred trees on different planets. Before invading the planets, Otsutsuki executives will let the guardian and guarded form a partner. Guardians feed 10 taels hatchlings as living sacrifices, making 10 taels grow into god trees. The guardian is responsible for guarding the sacred tree until it bears the chakra fruit. When the members of Otsutsuki came to the alien planet, first, the 10 tael seedlings are planted on the ground, and the low-status guardian Otsutsuki will be eaten as a living sacrifice by the 10 taels. 10 taels will quickly grow into a sacred tree after eating Otsutsuki members, and then the roots of the sacred tree will spread to all corners of the planet, absorbing the chakra of all life forms on the planet. When the chakra on this planet is exhausted, the sacred tree will bear huge chakra fruit. Members of Otsutsuki who are guarded. While guarding the sacred tree that bears fruit only once in 1,000 years, it is also necessary to continuously offer chakra to the Otsutsuki higher level. After the fruit of the sacred tree is ripe, the chakra fruit must be handed over to the high-level Otsutsuki. The high-level Otsutsuki refine the fruit of the sacred tree into elixir. The fruit of the sacred tree contains a huge amount of energy and genetic information. Otsutsuki members will continue to evolve until they become unparalleled gods after eating the elixir made from the fruit of the sacred tree. And common Otsutsuki members, after eating the elixir made from the fruit of the sacred tree, which was rewarded by the high-ranking Otsutsuki, will continue to go to other planets to plant sacred trees, repeat the same thing, and continue to destroy planets one by one. Otsutsuki Kaguya is the guardian. Only she is not willing to be eaten. So he directly attacked Otsutsuki with a backhand, and planned to dominate the planet to resist the future attacks of the Otsutsuki family. Anyway, let's plant this seed first. No matter how long it takes to mature, Senju Kusanai still intends to cultivate it first. Planted it in the center of the Senju resident in Mori, and folded his hands together to cast the power of wood style to catalyze. However, wood style, which is always unfavorable on weekdays, continuously injecting energy into the seeds of the Kabbalah tree of life has very little effect, and it needs too many nutrients. Not for a while. Senju Starry Night gave up the idea of using wood style to catalyze. Sure enough, I still have to catch a wild 10 taels. This kind of energy body that gathers a planet is a great tonic. Chapter 47. The strongest third Raikage. Cage level peak. Ask for flowers. Senju has 2 more sons. Sitting on the Starry Night of Senju, who has a lot of money, he naturally throws a big banquet to celebrate. To this, a certain finally stabilized his mind. Uchiha Fugaku, who was about to rely on time to forget his white moonlight, was silent and critically struck like Galen's endless. The mentality of licking the dog is broken. Damn Senju Starry Night, steal my Mikoto without saying. After giving birth to an heir, it is still such a big fanfare. I am afraid that others will not know. Certainly. Compare Uchiha Fugaku's dead FK expression. On the other hand, the great elder of the Hyuga clan could be said to be cheerful, and immediately brought a lot of gifts and came to visit his granddaughter and great-granddaughter. When he saw his great-granddaughter, not only inherited the blood of Senju and Hyuga, but also awakened a blood inheritance boundary that he had never seen before. Great-granddaughter. Correct. It's best not to spread the word too early. Although the old man doesn't mind the outflow of blood from the Hyuga clan, as long as the granddaughter can be happy. But if you let the other elders of the Hyuga clan, knowing that the old man's great-granddaughter has awakened a brand new line of blood succession, I'm afraid everyone will clamor for her to return to the family. The great elder of the Hyuga clan couldn't help but his face darkened, and said, at the beginning, in order to establish a good relationship with Senju, his granddaughter was pulled out to marry Senju Kusanai. But fortunately she was doing well. If this is Common's supercilious look, seeing Senju's power, he probably turned a blind eye. But own great-granddaughter. It's not just the power of Common's white eyes that's been awakened. It's hard to guarantee that those other elders of the Hyuga clan, who are dazed by their interests, will forcibly ask Senju for their great-granddaughter Senju Kuangsan because of this new line of blood inheritance. What is the attitude of Hyuga Hiyoshi, the patriarch of your Hyuga clan? If it was the patriarch, he wouldn't do that. Well, that is to say, some elders may be jabbering, Don't worry about that. But if they dare to beg for my Senju Starry Night's daughter, they will chop off their paws. Senju Kusanai's expression gradually turned cold, and he said expressionlessly, although he doesn't want to cause trouble, it doesn't mean he is afraid of trouble. The Hyuga clan. It is indeed the big family of Konoha Village. But in Senju Kusanai's eyes, that's actually the only thing. The patriarch Hyuga Hiyoshi only has quasi-cage level strength, and the whole family can't even get out of a cage level. Facing the current Senju, the Four Shadows combination took his ashes away in minutes. Not to mention, not all of them have bad thoughts. At least Hyuga Hiyoshi, the great elder of the Hyuga clan, is still on Senju's side. That's true. Think carefully. It seems that Senju is not afraid at all. Cage level 4 or 5, also won the support of civilian ninjas, and even the support of 5 families in Uzuka, Yamanaka, Kurama, Nara, and Akamaki. If this is really done, the Hyuga clan will be blown up in minutes. Up to this, the great elders of the Hyuga clan could only observe 3 seconds of silence for them. I hope those other Hyuga elders who are full of shit in their heads can clear their minds. Not at this time. Come to tease Senju's tiger whiskers. War Frontline. Rock Shinobi, Cloud Shinobi Battlefield. 3rd Raikage personally led the expedition, and the 2nd Tails Jinchuriki cooperated in the battle. Their goal is to bite off a piece of meat on the territory of the Wagakure. Dark skin, long light yellow hair, and a long beard, although over 40 years old. But 3rd Raikage is still powerful. His body is tough and hard to tear. He has a lightning-like scar on his chest, and a tattoo of the word thunder on his right shoulder. He is a ninja who is proud of his strongest spear and strongest shield. Possesses a fighting power comparable to that of 8 Tails Gyuki. That is, his strength is the peak of cage level. If it is really tough, today's Sarutobi Hiruzen is really not the opponent of 3rd Raikage. After all, he relies on the armor of lightning style, but he can directly resist Xianming's wind style. The spiral shuriken is the strongest Raikage in history. On the contrary, Sarutobi Hiruzen boasts the strongest Hokage. In fact, neither Senju Hashirama nor Senju Tobirama is a super cage level existence. He punched out his poop in minutes, making him unable to take care of himself. Lord Raikage. There's a letter from the Senju Patriarch of the Forest. A Cloud Shinobi Jonin. Hand over the letter from Senju Starry Night to 3rd Raikage. This is the hub of the connection between Cloud Shinobi and Senju, and the letters between the two parties rely on this Cloud Shinobi Jonin to run back and forth. To this, 3rd Raikage, who has become a brother and brother with Senju Starry Night. Without any precautions, he took the letter directly and began to read it. I see. Brother Kusanai has 2 more heirs. I also sent 10 altars of top quality wine and a special flying thunder god kunai. Can this kunai save lives at a critical moment? It's a pity that I'm still on the battlefield, so I can't come to congratulate in person. It's like this. Didn't there be 6 princesses who died in the country before? Send them to Brother Kusanai, keep the ones you like, give some money to those you don't like, and let her find another way of life. Chapter 48. 6 princesses who died. Send it to Starry Night Brothers. Ask for flowers. 3rd Raikage closed the letter in his hand and spoke slowly. Brother Kusanai likes the pretty sister. As a brother, he must support a wave. This is not because of the opening of the 3rd Ninja War. Some weak countries are easily destroyed in front of the 5 great ninja villages, and there are many princesses who have perished. 3rd Raikage also took in 6 good-looking subjugated princesses, and ordered 2 Cloud Shinobi girls, Chunin, to take good care of them. Now, take advantage of this opportunity. Just sent it to Brother Kusanai to add some wives and concubines to him. I have to admit that 3rd Raikage is kind as a brother, unlike Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo in the plastic-based friendship next door, who stab each other at every turn. Yes, Cloud Shinobi Jonin said in a deep voice. Immediately, they began to prepare, intending to send the 6 exiled princesses to the direction of Konoha Village. Kakazu will also respond immediately and send them to the boss for selection. Wait until everyone leaves. 3rd Raikage also boldly picked up the wine jar. There was no question of whether Senju Kusanai would poison the wine, so he drank a whole jug of tun. Only women drink from bowls, and real men drink the whole jug directly. Cool. A fine wine brewed by Starry Night Brothers. Sure enough, there is no need to be picky. Wait until a jar of top-quality wine enters the stomach. 3rd Raikage also breathed a sigh of relief, feeling refreshed. Although their Cloud Shinobi is also good at brewing. However, compared with Senju's brewing technology, it is still several grades behind. This is also a big project for people to make money. As for saying that special kunai, 3rd Raikage is also more concerned and has kept it in his collection. From the exchange of letters, he could feel that the other party was a good brother worthy of deep friendship, not the kind of duplicitous person, so he also treated him honestly. 10 days later, accompanied by the development of the war, 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi also took advantage of his strength to complete a siege battle. To this, in order to protect the tail beast from being taken away, it is also to protect his subordinates and prevent the entire army from being wiped out. 3rd Raikage resolutely rejected the approach of leading the elite troops to break through, in order to buy time for his companions to escape. He fought against the enemy army of the Land of Earth with as many as 10,000 ninjas alone, fighting alone, and did not choose to take a half step back. There is also 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki, 4 taels Jinchuriki Lozi. These two cage-level powerhouses watched from the sidelines, facing 3rd Raikage, who is known as the strongest Raikage. They dare not relax. Bring it on. Accompanied by Roaring Roar, 3rd Raikage has Lightning-style chakra mode enabled, known as the Armor of Lightning Style. By concentrating Lightning-style chakra on the whole body, so that the whole body is covered with chakra and lightning, the body can be activated and the lightning body can be used, and the defense ability will be greatly improved. At the same time, the lightning bursting in the body can increase the conduction speed of the nerves. With more lightning-style chakra, defense and speed will also increase. Book of Formation commented, the lightning wraps around the body, which can increase the hardness and speed, and activate the armor of the body. Hell Spike, 4 hands. Concentrate a large amount of lightning on the 4 fingers, and then stab the enemy at high speed. 3rd Raikage is like a wild horse running wild. Quickly rushed out. Instantly decapitated a dozen rock shinobi ninjas, killing them instantly. Facing 3rd Raikage, who has the peak strength of cage level, Common's ninja will just die in vain, unless his strength is exhausted with absolute superiority in numbers. Hurry up. Use ninjutsu to suppress him. We can't let him act recklessly like this again. Earth Style, Earth Shore Return, Earth Style, Dungeon Hall, Earth Style, Earth Dragon Bullet. Face the menacing 3rd Raikage. The surrounding rock shinobi ninjas all swallowed involuntarily, began to make mudras with both hands, and bit the bullet. As long as they swarm, I don't believe that this 3rd Raikage can kill them all. Wave after wave of ninjutsu continued to hit 3rd Raikage, but none of them had any effect. They couldn't even stop him from advancing, and violent thunder and lightning crisscrossed the battlefield wantonly. Looking at the battlefield where there was a bloody storm, 4 taels Jinchuriki Lousy said a little bit unbearably, shall we just watch it like this? If you and I join forces, we can reduce a lot of losses. 3rd Tsuchikage Onogi shook his head. You underestimate 3rd Raikage too much. If he is at his peak and fights with us, at least one can be taken away, so we can only rely on the advantage of numbers to consume his physical strength and chakra. It is clear. Onoki took a safe and conservative route. He didn't want to be in a game that was sure to win, and was forced to exchange for a cage-level combat power before he died by 3rd Raikage. Certainly, this method, the character of 4 taels Jinchuriki Lousy is obviously inconsistent. This is why, in the future, he will choose to leave Iwagakure to travel around. It is purely inconsistent with the 3 views of 3rd Tsuchikage. Chapter 49, Senju of the Forest is here. Support Senju Starry Night. Ask for flowers. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Sleepless battle. 3rd Raikage is like a war machine that never knows how to get tired. Constantly relying on his own hands, beheading an Iwagakure ninja. Blood flowed into rivers and corpses piled up like mountains. 3 days. The number of Iwagakure ninjas who died at his hands. It has reached more than 3,000, equivalent to 1/3 of the combat power of the siege, including some Jonin and Chunin level combat power. This is the peak cage level combat power. Certainly. Compare it to the tailed beast bomb that hits the ground running, relying tightly on both hands to fight. The efficiency of this killing is still too low. Cool. Breathing becomes abnormally rapid and disordered. Even the 3rd Raikage, known as the strongest Raikage, after 3 days and 3 nights of fighting, his physical strength and chakra were almost at the limit level, and his body was as heavy as if filled with lead, and it was extremely difficult to move. However, surrounded by a dense crowd of rock shinobi ninjas. Seeing this scene, 3rd Raikage not only did not fear death, but showed a gratified smile. 3 days. It should be enough to support his subordinates to evacuate to a safe place. It's a pity that I haven't officially met Brother Kusanai yet, so I had a good time drinking and chatting. Presumably after his death, AI and Killer Bee should also be able to shoulder the burden of Cloud Shinobi and become an outstanding 4th Raikage. Finally on the verge of the limit. Then, let me give you the final blow. 3rd Tsuchikage Onoki in his 60s. Floating in the air. He is a direct disciple of 1st Tsuchikage and 2nd Tsuchikage, and he is quite powerful. It enjoys the title of Onoki with 2 scales. Grandmaster Earth-style ninjutsu, which can use the blood successor that exceeds the limit of the blood successor to eliminate dust done, is also one of the rare flying ninjas in the 5 major countries. Wearing a red apron and a green waistcoat. Wearing a Tsuchikage hat. Although the hair, beard, and eyebrows have all turned into white, and his face is full of wrinkles, he is also full of energy. Wearing purple's clothes and breastplate, the hair in the back is tied into a small bundle like a ponytail, and the bearded 4 taels Jinchuriki Lousy also followed closely, completely blocking 3rd Raikage's back road. Onoki, Four taels Jinchuriki. Hey, your lineup is really luxurious enough. Obviously I have 2 cage level combat power. But I'm still cowering behind. Do I need to let the subordinates come to consume my physical strength? Look at 2 people. Third Raikage couldn't help but snorted coldly, and said disdainfully, 2 gutless rats. If they'd duel with themselves, even if it was 2 against 1, he would have nothing to say if he lost. However, these 2 chose the most disgraceful approach, sacrificing the lives of more than 3,000 rock shinobi ninjas, who didn't care about the casualties of their own subordinates. Are they worthy of being called shadows? Without further ado, win the king and lose the bandits, just win in the end. To this, third Tsuchikage Jonogi also said in a deep voice. He didn't want to give the other party more time to recover, so as not to cause more trouble. Clap your hands, immediately shouted, Earth style, Gangalai style technique. A giant clay titan spit out from the mouth of third Tsuchikage Jonogi, both offensive and defensive, and can withstand Deidara's explosive clay. Certainly, this would be against third Raikage. In his prime, it must have been taken down in a matter of minutes. But, now facing third Raikage whose physical strength and chakra are almost exhausted, this ninjutsu is still very threatening. Faced with this state, don't I dare to approach in person. Onoki, Earth style, weighted rock technique. Onoki is already in his 60s. Naturally, he wouldn't be provoked so easily, so he added a buff to his clay titan with a backhand. This technique has the effect of petrifying enemies, increasing their weight and making them difficult to move. Or use it to increase the weight of yourself or your companions to increase attack power. Clay titan plus damage boost. Waving fist. A hurricane swept through in an instant, as if to destroy everything. Finished? Body. The limit has been reached. The attack that can be broken easily on weekdays, now there is no way to squeeze out the slightest bit of physical strength. Chakra, facing death calmly. Like a hero, third Raikage has long had the consciousness of death. Boom. Heavy fist landed with a bang. The earth was shaken endlessly. A cloud of smoke was stirred up, obscuring the vision of the rock shinobi ninja. Gulu. Killed. Killed? Finally able to kill this monster. With Mr. Tsuchikage taking action, there must be no problem. No, wait. In the smoke over there seems to be a figure standing there. Wait until the smoke dissipates slowly. It was not the corpse of third Raikage that was presented to the rock shinobi ninja. It was a handsome black-haired young man who stood in front of third Raikage and withstood third Tsuchikage Jonogi's fatal blow with one hand. See this person, the pupil of third Tsuchikage Jonogi. I couldn't help shrinking suddenly. I didn't expect it to be this person! The Senju patriarch of the forest, Senju Starry Night. As a person of Konoha, why did you appear on this battlefield? Also protect the third Raikage. Aren't you planning to make an enemy of our Uwagakure? Third Tsuchikage Jonogi said with a gloomy face. It took so much effort to finally reap the fruits of victory. If he was cut off halfway, it would be a big loss. And when is the other party suddenly appearing on the battlefield? He didn't notice anything at all. Wearing a hori engraved with the Senju clan, using the power of the Flying Thunder God technique, Senju Kusanai came all the way to support Brother Raikage. He is not the kind of plastic brotherhood person. Certainly appeared here at this time. It's not Senju Starry Night's body, but his wood clone. Chapter 50. I want to save people. I want to take 4 taels too. Ask for flowers. Yo, nice to meet, Brother Raikage. I came here this time to thank you for the 6 wives and concubines you gave me. Senju Kusanai ignored third Tsuchikage Jonogi's questioning. Instead, he turned his head to look at third Raikage behind him. Greet him warmly. They found a total of 8 wives and concubines for themselves, and they were all of good looks. It can be said that they did their best. As a brother, I can't wait to die. As long as you like it. To this, third Raikage also grinned and said straightforwardly. He is not very interested in women, so he doesn't really understand Senju Kusanai's thoughts, but this does not prevent him from sending more beautiful girls to his brothers. But, facing the present third Tsuchikage, 4 taels Jinchuriki, add to that the encirclement of nearly 7,000 rock shinobi ninjas, and it's still not an optimistic situation. To be honest, if you die, you will die. Third Raikage didn't want to drag his brother into the funeral with him. This situation, I suggest Brother Kusanai that you should retreat directly. My strength has been completely exhausted. It is difficult for you to kill me with this burden. Third Raikage began to persuade with earnest words. Although the positions of the 2 sides are different. One is from Cloud Shinobi and the other is from Konoha. But their friendship is indeed very deep, and it can be said that they are close friends who have never met. Emotionally and rationally, he didn't want the other party to die here. Even if Senju Kusanai has cage-level strength now, it is undoubtedly a difficult thing to fight out with such a burden under this kind of siege. Since you're here, don't leave. Let's go. Why do you want to go? Although I, Senju Kusanai, haven't shot much before, you must have underestimated me a little bit. To tell you the truth, I want to save Brother Raikage today. And I also want 4 tails. Facing the threat of third Tsuchiki Jonoki, Senju Kusanai couldn't help laughing. What gave him such confidence? Planted in your own garden. That Kabbalah tree of life seed still needs a lot of energy to grow, so 4 tails Jinchuriki Laozi. I will take it away today, even though here at the moment just a wood clone from Senju Starry Night. Of course, due to the fidelity of wood clone, neither third Tsuchiki Jonoki nor third Raikage can see any clues. This is a clone technique that can hide Uchiha Madara's eyes. Oh. The tone is not small. I want to see how you get out of our rock shinobi today. Take the third Raikage. Take the 4 tails Jinchuriki. Earth style. Earthquake core. Hand seal. With the power of earth style, a square piece of land can be settled instantly. The target of third Tsuchiki Jonoki is impressively at the feet of Senju Kusanai and third Raikage. Subsequently, it's like launching a chase. He also quickly added an A-level ninjutsu earth style, earth dragon combo, and 7 or 8 earth dragons swept over directly, trying to forcefully bury the 2 of them alive. Seeing the menacing attack, Senju Kusanai just put his hand on third Raikage's shoulder. Lend you 9 tails chakra. Next second, chakra belonging to 9 tails. In an instant, it was apportioned from Senju Kusanai and passed to third Raikage. Red's tailed beast chakra emerges on the surface of the body. Various abilities will increase, and at the same time, it has a healing effect on wounds. 3 bright red tails are extended. Immediately, third Raikage completely depleted physical strength and chakra. It's like getting a new injection of vitality, and it's half recovered in an instant. This is, I don't fight unprepared battles. Before I set off, I borrow chakra from 9 tails. It is about 5 kg levels. Give some to brother Raikage, Senju Kusanai said calmly. With my relationship with 9 tails now deep and simple, let me borrow a little about what happened to chakra. What? You say you disagree? It's useless to disagree. Just join forces with adamantine sealing chains and wood style, and forcibly borrow your tail beast chakra. And the mode of tail beastization is generally divided into 4 types. 1. Leaking chakra. When the Jinchuriki gets too emotional, the seal will keep weakening. The tailed beast will use this to pass its own hateful chakra onto the Jinchuriki. Jinchuriki's pupils will change, and the injuries on his body will heal. Under this condition, Jinchuriki's various abilities will be improved. 2. Borrow chakra. The red-tailed beast chakra emerges from the surface of the body. At this time, the ninja still maintains personal consciousness, but will be emotionally disturbed by the tail beast chakra and become violent and aggressive. In this situation, the various abilities of the genin will increase. At the same time, the tail beast chakra will heal the ninja's wounds, leaving almost no scars, and has the ability to fight. 3. Beastization of half-tails. The body changes visibly, but retains its human form. Simultaneously with the gushing state of the obvious tailed beast chakra, covered with dark red tailed beast chakra, tailed beast coat has the ability to fire tailed beast bombs. It is worth mentioning that the golden and silver horns of 9 tails chakra obtained by eating the flesh and blood of 9 tails can also use half-tail beastization, and the 2 brothers can burst out 6 tails at a time. 4. Complete tail beastization. Full tail beast. Jinchuriki then transforms into a tailed beast, taking the form of a giant tailed beast. When entering this state, you can better exert the original power of the tailed beast, and you can also launch a full tailed beast bomb. Certainly, if only the tailed beast chakra is temporarily distributed to others, then at most it is only the borrowing of chakra to the second stage, and this requires a lot of skills. Not every Jinchuriki can do it. Throughout the history of the ninja world, only the future Uzumaki Naruto can do it. However, now there is one more person. That is Senju Starry Night. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this. And join my Patreon if you want to support me, link in the description. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.